The king, baby.
Hello, everybody. It's Monday. You know what that means. It's me. It's Michael B. And we got a really fun show tonight that came to me during a fever dream as I was putting together an Arcade1Up cabinet that I just FOMO bought because it was on sale and I knew I was basically ripping off the store. Then I watched another YouTuber talk about getting deals and I said, hey, I should get him on the show sometime and we could do a show about getting deals. So here we are. Anyways, this should be fun tonight. I'm joined by PD7. Very excited to hang out with the guy, talk to him a little bit tonight. Apparently, he has questions for me. He's more prepared than I am for my own show. So we're going to get into it right after this. Thank you so much for being here to watch Chill and Chat with Michael B. Phil, how are you, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
God bless you for coming up with questions because I didn't do anything.
Well, we talked. Mike gave me a call. I was out in San Diego doing a walk and talk. Actually, the second day I was there, and we were just talking about all the Arcade1Ups that we recently have purchased. And like Mike said, I was going to get the ALP, and I went with 4 Arcade1Ups instead of paying that price. Not saying I'm not going to get the ALP, but
yeah.
You know, there's deals right now. It's like picking up Golden Axe for $4.49.
It's all about the right time, when to grab them, and when to maximize the price, and also when to get them when it's going to be your last chance. I mean, Golden Tee's been around for a very long time. Originally, it was supposed to be an Arcade1Up online exclusive, made its way to stores, so I don't think that people are going to be able to get that one for much longer. And I love that cab. It just sucks there's no online, right?
You know, I pre-ordered that thing. How bad does that sound? I thought it was going to be sold, honestly. I was telling Mike, X-Men was my first Arcade1Up, and then I bought Golden Tee 3D, and yeah, it's still available. Don't pre-order.
Kevin Clausen here, $2 super chat. Phil's always prepared, starting at 4 a.m. So I'm guessing he's talking about your walk and talks, getting out to the store early.
Well, I upload the videos at 4 a.m. if I load a video. Because that's when I'm usually up. We were talking about working out, and I'm up that early. I'm working out at 4, so that's when I figured it'd be a good time to upload the videos.
Is that a good time to work out?
Yeah, because I work at 6, so I got to have time to work out, make my lunch, make my breakfast.
What kind of life do you live? Like, you wake up at 4, then you work out, and then you go to work for a full day.
Maybe 3:30. Maybe I get up at 3:30, 3:45.
Phil, what the hell, man? This is crazy.
Tough, and I'm running around. And that's if I work out in the mornings. Then if something happens, Mike, you work at home a lot. You could turn the computer on and do the video. I got to go somewhere, so I'm working all day long, and I got to get home, clean up, run to Best Buy.
I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know, but
coffee.
You know, kudos to
Lots
you,
of
man.
coffee.
Like, that's awesome. Lots of coffee.
I got to ask you, are you drinking coffee when you're doing the show? Drinking the mug, is it coffee?
Always coffee. Yeah.
Wow. What time do you stay up till?
Lately, like, I crashed over the weekend. I've been going to sleep like 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then like just sleeping all day too. But usually I stay up till like every night, probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then I'm up 7 with the kids. So 6:37 with the kids. I don't get a lot of sleep. When I do, I crash. Like, that's what this weekend was. I crash. I just have like 2 or 3 days where I'm incoherent.
That's crazy.
Probably not a good way to live, right?
Yeah, that's what the weekends are for.
Yeah. So, Phil, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I see all you guys in the chat. I really appreciate you being here. I'll try to grab you guys when I see cool comments coming up, and we'll try to save some time at the end for you guys to connect and stuff like that. So, thank you very much. Cornercade says you got a new camera. Is this true, PD7?
Ooh, you got rid of that logo for me. Nice. Okay, so I use this. Danny's always busting my chops. Let me just close this window for a second.
Yeah.
And you look on my phone, I have that camo app.
Yeah.
So because I don't have a regular webcam, right? I use my old iPhone, and there's always this logo on the bottom, and Mike got rid of it. So
Well,
Danny's always asking.
I didn't get rid of it. Let me show you here. I just
There it
made
is.
the
There it
screen
is.
smaller, right? So it disappears.
Oh, that's awesome. I got to get a webcam. Guys, I'm buying Arcade1Ups like crazy right now. Like that's where my money's going. It's tough.
Yeah, well, we can help you with that. I'll actually, if you ever want to get a real webcam and stuff like that, I can give you some pretty good advice. Kong's got a new one, and also that is the one I would suggest to you to get as well. Like you're talking quality, price. It's the best at the less is the best way to say it.
Okay.
And we got a super chat here from mrich228. $1.99. PD7 doesn't drink coffee. Coffee drinks PD7. Oh.
All day long.
I don't know. Anyways, so Phil, I wanted to go over some of your recent escapades before I can get in my own. You just talked about it. Recently, you looked at the Games 4K ALP and you're like, you know what? I can actually add a lot more to my arcade right now. That's not saying I'm not going to get an ALP down the road. So you went out and you got Golden Axe, because this was all in the one walk and talk I watched. Golden Axe. And then you also Marble Pinball. Why? Why did you get Marble Pinball?
Because I got some superhero pictures in here, and so guys, it's about here's the thing. It's about what you want, right? If you really want something, like this is the time to get it, and that's why I decided: do I go for ALP or do I get a Marvel themed pinball? Like I'm getting the Marvel.
You didn't see they announced a Marvel themed ALP earlier, did you?
You're messing with me.
No, I'm gonna tell you the reason. I was originally only gonna get one of the Arcade1Up pinballs when they first came out, but like it's one of those FOMO things, and everything happens all at the same time. So this is back when I was a little bit more flush with cash than I am now. So I had bought the Attack from Mars, and it was going to be here available in Canada, like just available in Canada everywhere. You could get it, have it shipped to you within like 5 days. So I had Arcade1Up Attack from Mars, Williams Pinball Bot, and I was here, and it was the same thing. I just started playing all these Marvel superhero Zim pinball games, and I was like, this is cool too, and I can just get it. So I ended up buying it. It is cool. I'm just giving you shit because it's so late in the game, right?
No, I get it. It's not an ALP
for so long. Yeah.
I'm not saying this is anywhere near an ALP, and I know Carlo just put his together. Like I'm not, guys. I know the ALP is the way to go. I got it for $416 after everything. It's just like you're not going to get it much cheaper than that right now, and it's just going back up. Now it's at $649 at Target right now, so it jumped from $599. It's just gonna they're sitting on this stuff, and they're eventually we're gonna give in.
Oh yeah. I don't know if eventually we're going to give in, but you're going to run out of the opportunity to get it.
Right.
They're not making any more, I don't think, Marvel pinballs. I'd be very surprised if they made any more Attack from Mars, Williams pinballs either. Star Wars
is an option.
Yeah.
What would you say about Costco? Do you think it was a success with the Star Wars pinball and the Pac-Man XL?
It depends on who you ask, because there's different trains of thought about it. One person would say it must have been a failure because they were clearancing them out like crazy at the end. So obviously they ordered way too many, right? That's one prevailing theory. But the other theory with that is they already made their money back. They made their money back. They made their investment. They made what they expected, their profit ratio. So then it was all about just clearing up space, getting space ready. So that's why they bucked them out the way they did. It wasn't that it was a massive failure. they ordered 13,000. They probably sold, I don't know, 8,000 at what they were expecting, and then, or I can't say that they sold 8, but they probably sold enough to the point where they're like, we're happy with this, and we just need to get the rest off store shelves.
I mean, don't you think they make a ton of money off of Namco Pac-Man titles? Like, think of how many Pac-Man. Now they have the partycades at Costco. Like, it's all profit.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're pretty happy with that relationship, from what I understand, because I know from talking to Travis, Arcade1Up went back, and it couldn't have been a massive failure because they made another order for this upcoming year and other different products. So, I mean, it's not like Costco was like, that was a failure, we don't want you back. They bought more shit from Arcade1Up. They expanded, right? So they've got partycades now and other stuff.
It's exciting to see. I mean, I was in California, and I got a text from Ralphie, and he said, there's Pac-Man partycades at Costco. And I go, holy cow, thanks, dude. And I went to 2 of them, and I found them. He goes, did you buy one? I go, no. I didn't pick them up.
How did you get to California? Did you flew, right?
I flew with my aunt Pat. She lives close to me, and her sister, my other aunt, lives in San Diego. So we stayed at her condo, and I kind of lifted around and did my thing while I wasn't with them. And yeah, there's some good stuff out there.
Smash TV XL, bring on the Miss Pac-Man XL. I don't know what it is, but from what I heard, I don't think it's either of those, guys. I don't think you're going to be. I don't know if you're going to be very happy with what it is.
Okay, I talk about this with Cornercade a lot. There's the black Ms. Pac-Man Deluxe. Like, are they pushing us to buy this by not bringing out the XL, the blue Ms. Pac-Man?
I don't know what the deal is with that. I remember asking Cyrus at the time when this was announced, because like I was legit pissed. As much as I have had great opportunities, like I'm still a fan, right? So like the very first deluxe we saw, they advertised was that blue, baby blue, beautiful, accurate Miss Pac-Man Deluxe, and I was like, that's cool. And then it never came out. And I understood at first because I asked about it. I said, how come Miss Pac-Man never came out? Well, we're already doing Class of 81. It felt like a bit too much, a bit saturated. So maybe that's something we'll do later on. So then eventually they did the Miss Pac-Man. And the first time I found out that Miss Pac-Man was going to be black was actually from when the guys went to Evo. Do you remember B-Kong, Travis, were at Evo when they did the Street Fighter 2 announcement, right? That actually came in a Miss Pac-Man Deluxe box. And I saw the black. Yeah, and I was like, what the hell? And I was like, why black? And Cyrus said at the time that the retailers were really happy with last year's Miss Pac-Man Black Cab and wanted more. And I was like, what?
Wow. I don't mind the look of the black. I think it looks good. I understand. Speaking of black, like I just want to say that there is. What do you think of this Woot WOOT website? The Capcom Legacy Street Fighter 2 is $299.49. Is this legit? Have you seen this?
Woot. Is that the website that Ryan developed on The Office? No, that's woof.com. Okay. No, Woot.
It's 20th birthday, and it's a clearance. There's 3 days remaining. That's not a bad price for that legacy.
Woot.com. I don't think that this is something that's available in Canada, so I don't know. I've been there, but apparently it is a legit website. The one thing that people were upset by is I think they were showing like the MK Deluxe back there for $349, and then people were ordering it, and it was the wrong cab.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Before we go any further, our good friend Stock Jock is here. You know Stock Jock.
Hey,
Stock Jock, $10 super chat. You need to talk Michael B into going to Disney World and Universal with us. Walk and talk him into coming down. 2 great dudes on one show. Doesn't get any better. Thank you so much, Stock Jock.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we're talking about going to Orlando like June or July.
June or July?
Couple of days. Yeah.
I would have to bring my wife and kids. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. And like my daughter would die if I went.
You couldn't not take them.
Okay, so Phil, going back to what you did, You also, am I allowed to say everything you got? You've told everybody like
Yeah,
everything you
everybody,
got right
it's
now.
out there. It's all out there.
So Turtles in Time, you didn't get that at retail. You ended up getting that one secondhand.
Secondhand, and the gentleman drove it up from Ohio. Like, how crazy is that? To Milwaukee.
Yeah. Did he know you? Was he familiar with you from
Um,
YouTube? Is that why you wanted to do
the
it?
the the seller, I think, saw a couple of my videos,
Yeah.
and his coworker, they worked for Harley Davidson, was heading up this way for training. And he talked him into taking it in his car. So I think I paid. I think Turtles in Time. Kelly's not listening. Was three. I think it was 300, and I gave him $50. Just to transport it. I think it
That
was 350. It was either 350 or four. I can't remember, but one or the other.
that's
But that's what
downright
it.
decent of you, man.
Well, I said, what are you getting out of this? Like, he goes, well, I go, hold on. I go, what do you want? Do you want a gift card? So I got him a $50 gift card.
Oh, that's nice.
So
So, Mr. Rich asks, think we'll see a TMNT XL in 2024?
a deluxe. I think you see a deluxe.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. If anything, a deluxe.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. TMNT, popular brand, retailers will usually pick it up as long as Arcade1Up is okay with Konami, okay with Nickelodeon. Very real possibility. I'll ask you this, though. Do you think we'll see a TMNT Deluxe with an actual arcade branding, or do you think it'll be something else like Mutant Mayhem or
Oh, you're
something
you're
along
getting
those lines?
at what was the one? Not
X-Men 97.
no, the
Oh, yeah.
with all the
The
Konami games
Cowabunga
on it.
connection. Cowabunga clutch.
That's I'm afraid that's what it's going to be.
So,
That's totally Arcade1Up right now.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we could always reskin it.
If you want to. Are you that guy? Do you want to reskin
Well,
these cabs? Do you want to
I
get into
don't
the
mind
extra cost?
I don't mind the Turtles in Time, honestly. I like it.
Yeah.
It looks. It doesn't. If you get rid of the marquee, I think it's fine. But I do like the OG. But when I was 14, I would play Turtles in Time at the bowling alley. Like it was either that or X-Men.
Yeah.
The original Turtles, I think the artwork's great. The game isn't as good as Turtles in Time.
What?
I'd rather play
How
Turtles in
dare
Time.
you, Phil? How dare you? Really?
Come on,
So,
it's one of the best beat 'em ups.
I will say that I think the original Turtles is a better arcade game, and I will also say I think Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo is a better game than Turtles in Time arcade.
Actually, what's not bad is the Sega Genesis. I have it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I had
The
it as well.
Hyperstone Heist.
Hypersound Heist,
Yes.
slightly changed, and with one different boss, the guy from the movie. I forget what his name is now. Is it
Yes,
Huang?
you're right.
Or
The
his
Karate
name?
Master.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. A little bit tougher too, but it's a different version of
Well,
basically Turtles in Time.
you just cheat with the. I do have the Game Genie for that, and I think it was the invincibility.
You don't need to cheat.
Well, hey,
Hyperstone
come on,
Heist, man.
it's fun, man.
Decade-
you know how hard Super Shredder is at the end. Come on.
No. It is harder. It is harder than Turtles in Time on the SNES, but you don't need a Game Genie, brother. Jeez Louise. We got a Decadent Dave here, $10 super chat. Thanks, Michael, for bringing PD7 on the show. Love watching his weekly walk and talk. Really great guy. 100%
Thanks,
agree. This is gonna sound bad, but like I'm in a spot right now where I don't get to watch as much YouTube as I used to watch. Like if I do, it's in really short bursts while I'm doing something. Most of my time is spent watching YouTube with my 2-year-old son, and it's all either Miss Rachel, Elmo's World, and like by the time it's done, I'm like, I don't even want to see anything else. But you're one of the key people I tune into just because I appreciate your positivity, and you're just doing fun shit we all do. Like this is kind of what I was doing leading up to me getting my Terminator 2 cab. I don't know what it was. I was going through this nostalgic period where I was just going from store to store and seeing what was in stock and if anything was on sale, mispriced, and if I could jump on something. So you spoke to me, Phil.
Oh,
You
thank
spoke
you.
to me.
I really appreciate it. Guys, Mike is a great guy. I mean, he's reached out numerous times. Like, I just want to say that he's a great gentleman.
Oh, I'm the worst. The absolute
He's
worst.
not. He's not. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. RetroCac says, is Mike downing the Game Genie? Yeah. Yes, I am.
So can you give out any spoilers of your
Oh,
plans here, the arcade plans?
Yeah, so I will say, Phil, I told you earlier, and this is something Jason's here. Jason knows. You can see in the background, I've got my At Games Legends Ultimate behind me, and as soon as my wife is willing to help me bring up my pinball, I'll have my pinball upstairs too. When I did this and switched around and put all my XLs behind me, I took my ALU and my LP downstairs, and I noticed through the mesh internet, I couldn't keep on like. Do you have any At Game stuff at all?
I had the micro pinball. I don't
Oh,
have it
yeah.
anymore. That was the only At Games I've ever had.
Yeah. So I moved this stuff downstairs. I'm on a mesh internet network, and I noticed I couldn't keep into my account. I would log in to my Legends ID, and then it would just kick me out right away. There was some kind of problem with my internet, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to take these two back upstairs. With the Legends Ultimate, it's not so bad because the Legends Ultimate, I'm just playing coin ops anyway, so that I don't need to be logged in to do that. But with the pinball, all my pinball packs are attached to my Legends ID, so unless I'm logged in, I can't play everything, right? So I was getting really frustrated with that. So I knew I was going to have to take this stuff back upstairs to get my connection. So what I said was, you know what, maybe I'm going to take my Arcade1Up stuff downstairs, but I was trying to figure out how to do it. There wasn't enough room to put it in my game room that I have down now where my Godzilla is. And I was like, well, I'm in the process right now of clearing out some stuff. Maybe I can free up some space in my old arcade that turned into a storage room where I can at least get half the room back and turn that back into an arcade. So that's been the plan, and I've been working on it slowly. I haven't told my wife about it, which was a little bit of a problem that I experienced the other night.
Tell her
when I
after the fact. After the fact.
Well, see, that's the problem. I did tell her after the fact. I posted it on Instagram. Then I got a really angry call. She was like, "You're building another arcade?" And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, where's this coming from?" So
Is this
yeah.
right around the corner from the overflow room?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Okay.
Overflow kitchen for the apartment downstairs. Yeah. So the goal is to get my At Game stuff back up here, and so right now I got to move Golden Tee and NBA Jam down. That'll be down in the arcade. The iArcade is going to go over on the side there. My Legends Pinball will go right there, and I should have enough space for the new ALP 4KP, which I do have coming, to go right there. So that'll be my four machines up here.
And is that Adam's family?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the only one we're getting in Canada. We didn't
So
have a choice about that.
Are you going to get the new Legends Ultimate? Are you thinking about it?
Yes and no. I'm definitely interested in it, but what's it gonna do that my current ALU can't do right now? Like I'm probably never gonna be the guy that hooks up like a PC to it to play like more modern games. I need to know what it can do. Like it'll all depend on the software they've got coming with it. I obviously like the new form factor. I think that looks more arcade authentic, but I need to know more about what it's going to do. Like, is it going to have more processing power? Can we do more stuff with BYOG that we couldn't do before? Is it going to have other games? Like, that kind of stuff. Pinball, I mean, that's a no-brainer. It's 4K pinball. That
Right.
sells itself. But there you go. Anyways, my arcade, Phil, I appreciate you asking.
So if X-Men was available, I'm sorry to cut you off, because guys, I really want him to get X-Men, because you know me and X-Men. Would you be able to fit it anywhere if it was available?
It'll be tight. So what I'm calling my new arcade is the Meagercade, because it's meager compared to what the old arcade was. The old arcade, I could fit 18 Arcade1Ups in there. This one, less. So one wall is going to have the 4 big boys. That's it. That'll take up the whole wall. The other side right now has T2, Street Fighter Deluxe. I'm going to be buying an MK2 Deluxe Thursday because there's a big sale coming up, which I wanted to talk to you about. We're getting very lucky here in Canada on Thursday. And then after that, I've got space for 2 real pinballs. So my Godzilla and then hopefully eventually Stranger Things. And
Nice.
this is a little bit selfish too, because technically I had 2 real pinball machines out in my games room, but they didn't really fit. So that's the other reason I'm building the meager cave, because I can't really fit 2 real pinball machines in there. So
Well,
that's the plan, man. I'm gonna have my own little space again. I'll get my music set back up, all my posters, my lighting, and I'll have a little space that this time I'm being much more. I don't know what the right term is. I'm still FOMO crazy with the XLs, but I'm being much more selective with the 3/4 scale and deluxes I add. It has to be something that has been a huge part of my life childhood. There's
right.
less try out things. Like, I'm not going to run to the store to buy Tron, even though I love Tron. I'm not going to run
Well,
to the
it's
store to buy
so.
Tron
How
because
did
it's
it sell
available.
out? Isn't that interesting that at $6.99,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the Turtles in Time and Tron are gone.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know what happened with Turtles. Just really quickly, Ichabod Crane, 499 super chat. PD7 is as real as the day is long. Yeah, Phil's always
Thanks,
been a
Ichabod.
real guy, man. So thank you very much for saying that. And we got another one down here from my buddy Stringer Films, who's probably messaging me to remind me he's going to kick me in the nuts because I'm spending money on stuff that isn't pinball. I like your new form factor, Mikey. Well, I got a lot of work to do on the form factor. I started to do an intermittent fasting there Christmas time, and then that went out the window when I quit smoking there a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
So,
you quit smoking.
yeah,
Well, congratulations. I know how
yeah.
tough it is.
Actually, it's incredibly easy. You just put a patch on, and then you don't smoke anymore. It's really simple.
It's
It's
no,
not. It's tough.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
I did nicotine for a long time. You know what stopped me is I started buying Arcade1Up. So as long as I don't go back to chewing tobacco,
Yeah.
I can keep buying these things.
I never did chewing tobacco. I smoked since I was about 15 years old, and me and my wife got really sick. She was in the hospital and she couldn't smoke for a couple days, so they put her on a patch. And then I said, "Hey, I'm gonna try this too," and we'll both quit. And we quit for 2 years, and that's the period where I bought like all these Arcade 1-Ups because like smoking's expensive, and I just had all this extra expendable
Yeah.
income. So then, I was just pretty much doing buying Arcade 1-Ups. Then last year, right around Christmas time, I started again. Me and my wife stupidly started again, and then yeah, about 3-4 weeks ago, we decided to give it up, and yeah,
So you stop together. That helps.
have to. You
Yeah.
can't one can't smoke while the other still smokes. So. Anyways, so that's the story. And with that gone, then now I've freed up all this money to do stupid things.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So a couple weeks ago, I've been eyeing. This is the deal thing. This is what I'm focused on in the new year, and this is what I wanted to talk about. I've been laser focused on 2 cabs, which is Street Fighter Deluxe and also MK Deluxe. But Street Fighter Deluxe didn't really even come to Canada. Didn't show up at retail. It's only available online through what was the name of the retailer? Spreetail, which
Yeah.
I think
And
Spreetail is as seen on TV Shop Hippo anyways.
okay. And they'll ship to Canada.
Yeah, so they'll ship to Canada, and they did a sale over Christmas time where it was 4.98 Canadian, which is ridiculous. It's like 3.70. So I missed that. Then it went on sale at Walmart through Spreetail for 5.38. I missed that. And then I was kicking myself. It went on sale one more time. And that was when I jumped in. I was like, all right, I'm back. I'm back. So that was the one cab. And then I've been eyeing Terminator 2 at the Brick for a long time. It was on sale for $4.99. I noticed that it was no longer on sale on the website for $4.99. It went back up to $7.98. So I went to the store just to check. Sure enough, the ticket on the store item still said $4.99.
So they had to
I asked the
honor
guy,
it.
and he was like, "Yeah, we'll still sell it to you at $4.99. You're the last guy to get it at this price." All of a sudden,
Oh,
I bought 2 Arcade 1-Ups in a week.
that's tough on the billing cycle, isn't it? Especially 3.
What do you mean?
It happens like when you make 3
Yeah,
purchases or 2 purchases on your credit card, that same billing cycle, Arcade1Up's like, you're like, oh my gosh, look at the statement.
Well, no, I bought both these cash.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like the points because then I can go back on Amazon and do something stupid again.
See, if I was in the U.S. and I was shopping through Amazon.com, maybe I would have done it that way. I would have done it Amazon, and I would have got points because I remember when Cool Toy bought his first Stern pinball off Amazon. He actually bought it with points. Can you believe that? He bought a
How did
real
he
pinball
sit
machine.
on it? Like, imagine that, guys. Like, you get up to like 150 and you just can't wait to spend it.
I think
It's
I think for work wise, because like he's not like me. He's like one of these really talented people. So the opposite of
oh,
me.
stop it. Stop
So
it.
these companies like pay him to do like work on YouTube and stuff like that. So he had extra points and
Yeah,
shit
he's
like that.
he's
So,
a nice guy. I saw him at the Pinball Expo in Chicago,
yeah.
and he's pretty down to earth.
Oh, Doug's the nicest
Really
guy
nice
in the world.
guy.
Love him. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, that's been my journey. And then my wife said, "Where are you going to put them?" And I said, "Don't worry about it." And then when she saw the picture on Instagram, she was worried about it.
Just tell her they're so skinny that you can get more in a row. Like
Yeah.
they're under 19 inches wide.
So, do you have a T2?
Yes, and I have the buy stuff mod in it.
Why? You're a modder.
Because
You're a dirty modder, Phil.
I wanted to play Lethal Enforcers.
Lethal
it was
Enforcers.
all about Lethal Enforcers. This is my favorite shooting game of all time because it takes me back to the mid 90s
Oh wow.
at the movie theater, and this is
Yeah.
that and Area 51.
Area 51's a cool one. Did you ever play any of the more modern like Area 51s? Like there was one that came out for Xbox 360 there a couple of years ago. I think it was Area 51 Black Site. And for some reason I picked it up and played it right through. Anything?
No, I'm back in time. Like it's
Ah.
all retro for me.
That's fair. That's fair. But
I
so you were the one person when that leaked list came out and you were like, Lethal Enforcers.
So I can talk about it now. So
Yeah.
I got a heads up from a good friend of mine, and I instead of talking about all of them, I talked about Lethal Enforcers because that's
Yeah.
all I like. I was so excited about Lethal Enforcers, but the thing is I'm all about the look. Like you see behind me, the Marvel, but the multi-cades, like there's a place for it. So if that's the only way I can play Lethal, you have your iArcade. You were telling me the other day that instead of doing the T2 mod, you're gonna put it all on your
Yeah.
iArcade. Like I mean, it's one or the other.
Yeah, so I've always had a weird relationship with the Arcade1Up cabs. People always give me a hard time because, like, I literally buy them to play the marquee game on them. Like, I don't care if there's 40 games, 50 games. Like, I literally buy them for the artwork and to play the game because I want that experience. But some people are like, don't you want, like, 60 games on it? And I'm like,
It does take a while to find it. I'll admit that.
yeah.
But
So like I can put everything like I've already got on the ALU. I've got what is it called? I hate these guns, the aim track guns. So I've already got like a shooting cab and I can play all that stuff. The iArcade, I wanted to play Sinden, so I've got the what is it? The Nix I forget what the name of it is now, but I've got that one so I can play any shooting games I want on that. And yeah, anything else, like I want T2 to play T2. And so
have you beat T2 on the Arcade1Up?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember when he first got it? And I always say this to him on Super Game Room dudes, and they were asking. I think Rastel just said like double fist it, like take both. And he's just like, it's not doing anything for me. Like I'm like, this is so cool. It's like it's got T2 on it. The only thing better is if they would have put Revolution X on there.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine?
Yeah, it's tough though because you know about that. We didn't know about this stuff at first. Like I remember when Arcade1Up first came out, and I was so excited because you would think about all the stuff they would do, and you'd be like, "Oh man, can you imagine if they made like a Konami beat 'em up cab with Turtles, Sunset Riders, Cowboys of Moon Mesa?" And you think like all this stuff is possible. They could just jam all this stuff on the cab. But then we're lucky enough that people from Arcade1Up and John D at the time could come out and talk to the community. And once you understand some of the stuff about licensing and how it works, it makes this hobby a little bit more sad because you're like, they're never going to make a cab that cool because if Turtles is on it, it's just going to be Turtles, right?
Right.
So we're never going to get like Cowboys Moo Mesa, Sunset Riders.
Well, Chaotic BPR had that video where he showed like you could put that all in your Simpsons. Like there is that, or you could put it on your iArcade. It's
yeah, you could soft mod it. And
I
then
like
again,
the online feature. Like I'm always pushing that. Like whenever I talk about this, like I want to play online, but someday maybe that won't be an option for an Arcade1Up. Who knows? But
oh yeah, I actually, what was it? Weekly Retro Party. I think their topic last Wednesday was what happens if the servers go down, like if the
right.
company goes out of business. I don't think we're in. A lot of people will say this. I heard someone else saying something like someone said arcade tits up or something like this. And I don't know where this is coming from. There's a lot of negativity in the community. People want things to be like negative for some reason. I don't get it. Like there's people talking about now, like people saying that, oh, At Games didn't sell any ALPs or something like this. And like they want these companies to fail for some reason. I'm like, why? Do you not enjoy this hobby? Even if the product isn't for you, why do you want the company to shut down? Why do you want to see them fail?
I know we need all these companies to do good. Unico, MVSX, At Games, Arcade, because they'll keep giving us stuff.
Yeah.
Like, of course you want them to do good.
Some stuff's not going to be for everybody. Like X-Men 97, I was pretty critical of that just because I want more arcade recreations. And maybe Arcade1Up won't be that going forward, or maybe they will, but less so. Maybe New Wave Toys is where I'm going to find that jam. I don't know. But that doesn't mean I want Arcade1Up to fail because they made a cab with X-Men 97 on it. I'm actually pretty happy for people because they're going to be able to get a cheaper version of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Exactly. If they didn't purchase that, if they didn't pre-order like me and spend $5.99 on it, now you can get it for $4.99, right? Isn't it $100 cheaper?
Exactly. $100 cheaper. The only thing that I would really change, if you're going to change something with it, would be that the marquee is the only thing you really need to pop out because the side art was just black with a sticker stuck on it anyway. So who cares about the side art?
Well,
but
it looks better than that Kith cabinet, doesn't it? I mean, at least they got that going for them.
Yeah, Kith.
And a lot cheaper.
Garage Gamer says he's going to wait for X-Men 98. You ever run across Garage Gamer? Another really, really nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, super nice guy. He's out of the Arcade1Up stuff, I think, now. He's more into the console stuff. Spending all his money buying controllers for Xbox. Everything except for the last one.
Definitely check him out on Instagram. He's always posting some really cool stuff. Collectibles. He's really into the Star Trek figures. The next generation.
Ooh, D-Mod's here. D-Mod, what's happening? You guys gotta tell me about the soft mod for T2. Did it ever get done? Because I remember talking to Mystery Encoder and he was like, oh, you gotta soft mod your T2. I bought it again. If there is a soft mod, you guys tell me about it.
That would be cool.
That's how you could get your Revolution X, but
and I got to say that it's a disappointment that it's not on the retro shooter kit.
Really?
It's got most of the gun games, but yeah, Revolution X.
That's the game where music is your weapon, Phil.
Yeah, that's a great. No, I have a lot of experience playing that game in the movie theater. Like I didn't go to arcades. I went to bowling alleys and movie theaters had all those. It was unbelievable. Like the 90s were so cool.
90s were really cool. We had two small arcades right outside the movie theaters. That's where both our arcades were. So yeah, it's always one or the other. Like I remember the smaller arcade last going off. When that closed, it was right after Mortal Kombat 4 came out. So that was one of the last times I remember going to that small arcade. I ended up working in the building later on. So when that one closed, that was a bummer. When the one in the Avalon Mall closed, that was it. Like we just didn't have arcades anymore. Yeah. We had eventually something like a Dave and Buster's is what we have now. We have a thing in Canada called the Rec Room. And it's all like modern stuff. There's some stuff that's cool. Like they got Mario Kart DX. They've got the new
The
Daytona USA,
Cruise and Blast,
Cruise
right?
and
Yeah.
Blast, and they've got a couple Stern pinballs. Like they got Deadpool Pro and Guardians of the Galaxy, but like it's not much. It's mostly like redemption type shit. Mr. Rich, 4.99 super chat. Cyrus, I know you're watching. We want TMNT and Robotron XL now.
Would you
Man,
settle for a deluxe though? If they gave you Robotron, would you settle for a deluxe?
yes.
Yeah, I
If it
would
was
too.
Robotron,
See, and I want Smash TV skin because
yes.
that's my childhood. Like it's
Yeah, I
like the
know.
Running Man like art on the side. You know what I mean? Doesn't that remind you of that movie? Somebody said American Gladiators, but I always look at it like Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, yeah. Smash TV 100% reminds me of the
Yeah.
Running Man. It was like total ripoff. Like the guy basically watched a movie, or he read the book, and then he was like, "Hey, I got a great idea for a game." It's 100% what happened.
What do you? You had this cabinet. You had the MK30th.
Yeah,
It's still available on Amazon. Like,
yeah.
can you believe? Like, this is it. It's not available anywhere else. I see it's 553. Like, there's 8 left. Eventually, I think that's a good buy. I think that's the best look. I know you're gonna get the deluxe. I have the deluxe, but I think this is the best looking one because of the artwork. But not the screen, but the artwork.
The artwork is very cool. It's not 100% arcade accurate. Of course, Johnny Cage isn't there. I thought the cab was beautiful, albeit the buttons were screwed up. The button colors were
Oh,
screwed
that's
up,
right. I forgot about that.
and the screen was really bad. So, as long as you're willing to get it, do a screen mod for another 4x3, 5x4 screen. You could be happy with it. It's just for me. I don't know why you would spend that money when you can just get the deluxe, which is just
I
better.
I know. It's just that the artwork, you know. The fact that it's still available, and I thought that would just drop. I thought when the deluxe came out, they'd be giving these things away. It never happened. It never got under like
Why do you
4.99.
think? Why do you think that never happened?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
So a lot of Arcade1Up's deals with retailers, unfortunately, involve like a buyback clause or something along those lines. So a lot of times when we see these crazy deals from the retailers, the crappy thing is that means the retailers are dropping it and then going back to Arcade1Up and saying, we want money back for what we lost in the
Oh,
process. So a lot of the reason why there isn't these crazy sales that everybody expect right now is because in order for that to happen, Arcade1Up would have to pay back 100 of the 300 they received per unit to facilitate the deal.
well, that makes sense. That's why we can't get cabs for 199.
Yes.
Everyone's always like, "I'll get it when it's 199." I'm like, that's not going to happen. 199?
Not anymore. Some deals will still happen. Like there's some stuff you don't have any choices of. Like there's one deal I want to talk to you about right now. I'm really excited about because I think you'd be all over this if you lived here in Canada. So I'm just gonna pop this up now and show you this, Phil. So this week, coming up on this Thursday, I'm gonna finally be placing my order for the MK2 Deluxe. This is another one. Didn't originally come here to Canada, and I harassed the brick. I harassed the distributor, everybody to get it here. Arlene from the brick did some magic, forced their hand, finally got us this cab here. We were only supposed to get Miss Pac-Man Class of 81 Deluxe and Pac-Man Deluxe. They weren't going to bring Mortal Kombat here. Luckily, she brought it here, and then, of course, I was being a big idiot saying, well, they could do an XL next year. I don't know if they're going to do an XL. So I didn't jump on it when it went on sale. But this coming Thursday, I heard from Arlene at the Brick, and they do this big one night sale at the Brick. Like it's a leap year sale, so like everything's on sale. She's going to be putting all these cabs back on one night only clearance prices. I wouldn't say clearance. I got to be careful saying that. One night only prices. So this is going to be $150 off coming up on the 29th. So it's going to be $4.99. Works out to I don't know, like $3.99 US basically is what it works out to. I think I gotta do the conversion here somewhere. US to Canadian conversion, $4.99. I think it's like $3.99. Basically, is going to be the price point for MK2 Deluxe. So I'm going to jump on it, but people are also going to get opportunities on Galaga Deluxe, which you have, Class of 81, Pac-Man Deluxe, and there's one other big sale that I know of, which is going to be Time Crisis for 6.99 Canadian. I don't know what that works out to, somewhere around five to 550 US.
That's
So,
pretty good. That's pretty good for Time Crisis.
right? Yeah.
Do you have any interest in it?
I have interest in Time Crisis for the wrong reasons. I'm interested in possibly picking up Time Crisis just because it's on sale. I don't. I know I shouldn't do it. I don't have the nostalgia for it. Plus, I just dropped like $600 Canadian on ALP 4KP pinball packs the other day.
Oh, man. Well, they had the sale. Like it ended. Actually, it's still going on right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, till midnight.
yeah. So I've got the ALP 4KP coming. At Games is sending me one, so I've got that coming. Geez, it should be here around the 17th or 20th of March. So I wanted to get loaded up and have all the games for it, so I could give it a really full playthrough and stuff when I'm doing my review. So I think I'm gonna avoid Time Crisis. I don't have the nostalgia for it. I've only got so much room in my arcade. I'm gonna avoid that. But man, that's a really good sale.
It is. It should have been $5.99. Like that in the US. Like that should have been the price.
We were so disappointed when he told us the price online. We were there to do the show, and he came back and he was like, "Good news, $749.99," and we were like, no."
Yeah, that was hard to hear.
Yeah, I'm hoping some other stuff's going to be on sale. Like this Simpsons cab here, they had a lot of those. These were down to $3.99 Canadian at one point. NFL Blitz made it down to $4.99. This is like what I was just telling you.
Turtles is still available?
Turtles is still available here.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
You never had Turtles in Time.
No, I didn't. I'm really hoping they do a deluxe or an XL in Turtles.
I know.
Turtles is one I miss. And I just hope that they do it with the original artwork, with, that new form factor for like what they just did with the NBA Jam Deluxe. So,
well, let's talk about, like, you and I have now bought cabs that we sold and then we rebought them. Like, anyone in the chat, have you done that? Like, I sold my Turtles in Time because I thought the connection was junk, and then I buy it again. I bought 2 countercades.
Yeah.
And I had those at one point, and I kept seeing an NBA Jam at Kohl's, and I finally gave in. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy when we rebuy something.
Yeah, so I bought NBA Jam, the original NBA Jam, twice, and then the only reason I sold it the second time was because I got the XL. Right. So NBA Jam, and now Terminator 2 is the only cab. Other than that, I bought twice, and that was just because that $4.99 sale price. I missed T2, so
I know.
If X-Men was still available, maybe.
Is it the sale? Is that what gets us? Is it the deal? Is like Carlo always says, don't just get it, Phil, because you're getting a good deal on it. But it's so hard to resist.
Yeah.
Peasant
cabs are done. All releases will be deluxe or XL. I don't know about that. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mr. Rich. That's one thing. I know Biggie D was saying, I don't know if you still talk to Biggie D, but he said that all the cabs are going to be peasant cabs. I don't know where he got that information.
I think at Walmart. I think
at Walmart is true. Yeah.
That's an 100%. Exclusive that they're going to carry on with.
Yeah, they want that $2.99 price point, or as close as they can get to it. So I think he's 100% accurate in that. I think Walmart's focus is going to be on peasant cabs.
They have that display at. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. They have the
no, you go ahead.
They have the display at Walmart like Best Buy does with the deluxe.
Yeah. Louis P has never gotten rid of an arcade. I've gotten rid of several because I play what I like to call the arcade shuffle many times. When you only have room for 18 and your wife doesn't know about your overflow room, sometimes you got to sell stuff to make room. Have you ever sold one to make room for something new coming in? Is that one of the reasons why you've sold something?
Yes, but this room is like my your overflow room. I have 3 in the gym.
Yeah.
I have my Golden Tee 3D in the back living room. And then I have Turtles in Time. I got to put my Marvel pinball in here. and Golden Axe is on the floor.
Where's Golden Axe going to go?
Right next to there's a wall right here. I can get those two.
Yeah.
And then you see the countercades are going to get shifted right behind me, and the pinball is going to be in front of the window.
Stringer Films says he bought 8 Space Invaders for 99 cents each in 2019. Yeah, they were on sale for $1 at one point. It's the Space Invaders cab. Were you around with Arcade1Up when those crazy $50 and dollar deals were going on?
That's when I first saw them at Walmart, and I always reflect that I walked past Marvel Superheroes at $248, and I never bought it, and I'll never forgive myself for that. The punishment.
I remember at the time I was eyeing a Marvel Superheroes here at GameStop that they actually had in store. Someone pre-ordered it and then just changed their mind, didn't want it. And I would go to that store every day and be like, today's the day I'll buy it. And then I bought it one time and then brought it back because I was like, I can't afford it. I don't need that now. So I would eye that. And then that $50 sale happened. And then there was pictures of like a guy driving a Marvel Superheroes home on his like motorcycle. Like he had it across his arms on the motorcycle trying to get it home.
Holy cow.
And I was like, you got to be kidding me. It was so hurtful that I was looking at it $529 here in Canada, and the guy bought it for $50. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
It's the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
I found Simpsons for $199. So I went when you guys went to Chicago 2 years ago, and 19K Fox you bought the NFL Blitz for 19K Fox. I went to a Walmart that night.
Yeah.
In hopes to find it, and I found Simpsons for $199, and I never wanted to buy it. And I stood there, and I went and got a cart, and I bought it. Like, it's hard to resist this stuff.
Yeah, when it's on sale, right? It's exactly like T2. I'm very happy I bought T2 again. Very happy to have it. But would I have bought it if it wasn't $499? No, there's no way I was paying $900 for that again.
But now that you have it, like it's never going anywhere. Like for a long time, like it's safe for a while. Are you thinking Time Crisis? I mean,
no. I know for 100% fact I'm not going to buy Time Crisis. I got to be very, very selective. I've got less space for this arcade, and I want it to really be reminiscent of my time in the arcades. Like XLs, I'll have FOMO for. Like, say for example, they come out with something really wacky that I don't have FOMO for, but it's in XL. I'd have a hard time not buying that if it became available here. So let's say they came out with, I don't know, name something, just something, anything. You name something, I'll tell you whether or not I'd buy it in XL.
Smash TV XL.
Yeah, I would buy it.
Totally.
Because it's XL.
I know. I think I'm the same way. I'm probably not going to get Shaq Jam just because I have the, and that was another thing, guys, is I bought the NBA Jam Deluxe. If you add all that with everything that I purchased, that's why I didn't get the ALP. Like, I had this plan in my mind of being able to pick up all those, but seeing all the XLs behind you, like, I'm really starting to think of the KI Pro. It's like, I mean, I know it's
$1,000, Phil.
But here's the thing, and I was talking to the bad guy Mike Worley about this last night. Are these things going to be worth something? Like, there's a chance. Now there's a chance, because you're saying there's a chance. If these all sell out, what if it does it? What if it goes up in price? You never know. This is like nostalgia. We're reaching a point where you see these sitting. Maybe you just pick it up in hopes of cashing out on it someday.
So really quickly here, Stringer Films, $2 super chat. He bought Golden Tee and 3 TMNTs for $99 each, and 2 Galagas for $50 during the height of the sales.
Wow.
Yeah, Stringer Films, and you think that's impressive. You should hear about what he pays for his real arcades. But got a question here from Gallagher Guy 88. Gallagher Guy, nice guy, friend of the channel, friend of the Super Game Room dudes too. When did you first play Robotron, Michael B? So I never played Robotron until I got into this arcade hobby. I used to watch a show on YouTube. You can go back and look for it, called Arcade Impossible. And it was a story of this guy. He had just got divorced, and he went and basically him and a bunch of his friends were helping him go find all these arcade games and put them in his basement. And he fell in love with Robotron. So that's how it became on my map. And then as soon as I got into the what do you call it, multicades and stuff like that, I started playing it, and I was like, this is the best game I've ever played in my entire life. And I was so familiar with it from watching his videos and his love of Robotron and stuff like that. I guess it came over with me. So that's where it came from. It was from watching that show, Arcade Impossible, his love for it, and then finally trying it myself and saying, holy shit, this is the best game I've ever played.
You and Stockjock loves Robotron. Like that's his favorite.
Stockjock is much better than me at Robotron. We played when we were in Cleveland together, and I was pretty impressed. Pretty impressed. My first game was like terrible. I scored like 30,000. Oh yeah, he got over 100, no problem.
I saw Corner Kate. I was just replying. He said Spider-Man XL. Could you imagine if even if we got a deluxe, like a Sega Spider-Man deluxe, that'd be incredible. I almost actually put it on the TV. You can't see it in the background. I had Road Blasters on, but I was going to play that in the back.
Ralphie Duran says he watches Arcade Impossible on a daily basis along with John's Arcade. John's Arcade, one of the biggest reasons, like when this hobby, like a lot of people forget that, like arcade collecting is a super niche hobby, and Arcade1Up really made it like more mainstream, like got all of us involved because it was so easy to go get these. You could go buy them at Walmart. There was less maintenance and stuff like that. So these were shows I always watched, but then I went back and watched them and I started thinking like maybe wrongly, like, oh man, I would watch John's Arcade. And then I'd be like, hey, you know, it'd be cool if they made a Timber Arcade1Up. They're never going to make a Timber Arcade1Up. Do you even know what Timber is, Phil?
I don't.
if they ever did make a dedicated Tapper arcade, Timber could possibly be on it too. It's in that line of games. But this is the kind of
is it a Midway?
Yeah. So this is the kind of shit that John's Arcade and watching that stuff really got me into, was like learning more about arcade history and stuff like that. It's because of that stuff.
His Galloping Ghost tour was awesome. That video, it's like 2 hours long. Like I watched the whole thing.
Honestly, you need that amount of time. Like I remember I shot a Galloping Ghost like sort of review, but what had happened was we were at Galloping Ghost. It was too much to deal with when we were there. Then we went to a bar, and then I had a lot of drinks, and then I went back to Galloping Ghost and was like, I gotta film something here.
I don't know if it's easy. Like I wanted to do a walk and talk there. I don't know if it's easier to just like cover like the shooting. Like how many is it? 950 games?
Oh, I have no idea. There's a new one released every Monday. Like we got to talk to Doc, and this was like a year and a half ago, and he said that they're currently like expanding the space, trying to make more room. Like I don't know how many they have there now. So yeah, no idea.
Crazy.
Have you ever seen a Wacko arcade? Do you know what that is?
I don't think so.
When you get off this, Google Wacko. Wacko is definitely one they'll never make for Arcade1Up. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can find it. Throw it up on screen. Wacko Arcade. I gotta be careful because I might type in something else I don't want coming up. Images. Wacko Arcade. Yeah, here we go. So I'm just going to pull this up on screen, and if you guys have never seen Wacko, this is the kind of stuff we'll never see from Arcade1Up, but if you ever get a chance to play it, this is Wacko here. It's actually all to the side and stuff like that. Look at that.
Oh, yes. They have that at Arcade by Me.
Do they really?
Everything's on a slant. Yes. I thought that was Timber. When you first said Timber, I was thinking of that. Danny, they have that at the McGuanago one. We got to go there.
Yeah. So this would be Arcade1Up's early quality control. Like their normal cabs would be like Wacko. Everything would be slanted to the side, holes in different places where they shouldn't be. Yeah, you might not remember that though.
It's cool to see that. It's just the theming on that, and that's another reason just to get an arcade. It's just that look.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the why, and that's one of the biggest reasons for Tron. You mentioned Tron earlier, and you're like, I can't believe they sold out. I remember talking to John D afterwards, and he said Tron really surprised Arcade1Up because they really thought they were in trouble. 2 games, it was an IP that he didn't think many people would know, and Tron did excellent for them, like blew them away. And that was a point where I was really, really, really friggin' excited for Arcade1Up. I thought a lot of things were possible, a lot of things were going to happen because they had just made this really cool, familiar 80s arcade game. They did a really good job with it in terms of the design, how it looked, and it had really impressed the people at Arcade1Up. So I was like, there's a chance they're going to see this and then go back and come out with more 80s games. But unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition, unfortunately. So
Even, track and field it'd be cool to have.
they were going to do it, and the retailers wouldn't buy it.
No.
Double Dragon, they were going to do it. Retailers wouldn't buy it. I talked to Arlene here, and Arlene said, "Yeah, they showed us it. It never came out."
I was convinced we were getting Double Dragon. When
was
iArcade
too.
lost the I'm always wrong about this stuff, but I'm like, well, that's because Arcade1Up's got the license. No, they were going out of business. So
Yeah, I don't think it was so much Arcade1Up got the license as in their license was up, and I think they just lapsed on re-signing it or didn't pay attention to when the date was. So like the option came up for them to renew, and I guess they missed it and didn't have the money. So that's what happened.
see, I think the ad games with the Data East, I think that's their way of getting a lot of this stuff online. And if Arcade1Up's not going to have, I know Double Dragon's not Data East, but I'm just Data East games like you don't see that from Arcade1Up right now. I think we get that from ad games, and it's online.
So the reason Arcade1Up didn't do Data East was because there's a risk ratio that they would look at. Is another company like working with Data East, Gmode? So you had Burger Time, all these games on arcade at games. Then iArcade got them. So
Right.
if those options are already out there in the retail space, does that make it less likely or more likely people would buy an Arcade1Up cab? And I think that's why they didn't do it. Travis was talking some craziness about a Burger Time Deluxe last year. I would have loved to have seen that. Have you ever seen, like, do you have a Burger Time cab? You ever seen one?
No.
I loved it. Like, it's beautiful cabinet. It's got a horrible control deck for playing Burger Time on. But, like, what a cool cab. I would have loved to have seen that. And I don't know if we'll get that going forward.
Yeah, I don't know either because of the Data East, I don't know if they'll get any more. What's the last one we saw? Was it Captain America, the Avengers on X-Men?
Yep, Captain America and the Avengers, and also what's the fighting game on that? Avengers Intergalactic Storm or whatever it
Yes.
was called.
Yeah, they can have that one.
Yeah, that's horrible, horrible game. Super chat from Stringer Films. iArcade was busy getting evicted when Double Dragon expired. Thank you very much, Stringer Films. So the funny thing about that is, you're saying, will they get Data East? Phil, I'm going to tell you right now, if me and you took my dressercade I built a couple of years ago and said, we're going to start selling this, publicly, and we reached out to Gmode, which is the company that owns the Data East licenses, and we said, can we license your games for my dressercade? Even with no references, no real proof of money or anything, Gmode will sell us the licenses. Like, Gmode
Really?
are the easiest company for anybody to reach out. Like, you don't even need to be legit, nothing. They're dirt cheap. They will put Burger Time literally on anything. You could call them up tomorrow and say, I have a calculator I'm going to sell. Can I put Burger Time on it? They're like, yes, that's fine. We're Gmode, man. Here you go.
Well, then why wouldn't we get another Burger Time cab?
Because they don't think it would sell. And based on their previous data, the time they had, really hard time selling the Burger Times the first time they did them.
And the reason I believe that is the Star Wars cab. The first one sells out. Star Wars 23 comes out, and it's still available.
Not in Canada. All sold out here.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, if they did an XL Star Wars,
They were supposed to.
I mean, I think it's still possible, Mike. Those three games, like nothing more. I think there's a good chance that that we got in. I know everyone wants Tron XL. I think we see a Star Wars XL. It's cheap. And Disney, this is the whole thing with X-Men 97, is they need money. Disney's not doing great. They give us Star Wars. That's why we got the pinball at Costco. Kind of.
So what I was told was Arcade1Up went to Costco and they showed concepts for a couple cabs, and Costco said no dice. So one of those
Really?
may have been Star Wars. And nothing's going to get made unless it's got to. Costco's the only place they're going to sell XL for whatever reason it is.
Yeah, I believe that.
So,
And I don't know if it's, I can't remember offhand the box size compared to, the Pac-Man or the
it's
Shack.
the same. It's the
Is
same
it?
as deluxe. It makes no sense to me. Like, honestly, the XL Pac-Man I got is the exact same size as my Street Fighter Deluxe box. They're like, there's no reason why any retailer can't sell them. I don't know what it is, but the focus right now on the XL cabs is to sell them at club stores, Costco's. So, and from what I heard, Arcade1Up went in and said Star Wars XL, and Costco said, nah.
Well, maybe things change. Maybe, was this before or after Pac-Man?
After.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's the year of the deluxe then, huh?
I don't know what this is the year of. This is the year, Phil, of us enjoying what's still available
Yeah.
and getting stuff at cheap prices.
I agree.
That's what I'm advising people to do. I'm advising if there's something you want right now, like me, I was holding out, waiting for Street Fighter XL, MKXL. I'm not waiting and holding out anymore. I'm looking for deals. I'm looking to have an arcade space with fun arcades to play, and regardless of form factor, enjoying what I can while I can. It's sad, isn't it?
Well,
it's,
and I just said this recently that there's 4 XLs of, I'm counting KI Pro as an XL.
yeah,
There's
me
4
too.
XL, well, 3. I guess Pac-Man sold out. There's 3 XL available still.
Yeah.
It's how many? I have 2 of them, and that's why I'm thinking KI. Like, I don't have it. I keep talking about XL. Maybe it's worth it. I mean, how much is the Nova? And I know the Nova Blast does more and everything, but break that down into what KI Pro costs.
So for you guys in the US, the Nova Blast is going to be, I think it's with the base is $11.99. That's the pre-order price. So you're looking at $200 more than KI Pro. But this is going to have a huge screen. I think the screen is 26 inches. But then you're also going to have to provide your internals. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to put like a SBC into it? Do you want to put a PC into it? Are you going to go with real arcade hardware? What are you throwing in there?
You see P Dub's comment.
It was at that moment that you could see his heart ripping too.
It's the look. It's the look, guys. I think Gamer Fridge just said, he heard it stinks. It's the look. It's like it's a real looking arcade. That's what they're selling.
Yeah, 100%. And it does provide a lot of options on what you can do with it, what you're going to put into it, and stuff like that. The only thing is, like, it's not a very familiar arcade. Like, it wasn't very popular here in the US. It's super popular, the fighting game community, Japanese arcades, but like, I'm interested in it. It's really expensive to get it here in Canada. It looks like about $2,000, what we're going to be paying to get it here in Canada, before you add anything else to it.
Yeah.
Give us a hint to the one Costco did say yes to. James Hates Everything says, is it something with the deluxe already out in the market? I actually don't know what they said yes to. I have no clue. I wish I did, James. I'd tell you. So there you go.
Well, I think Smash TV is going to happen this year. I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, Mike, just throw a number out. 7?
I don't know if we're gonna get. I don't know if we're gonna get anything new this year. I'm 100% honest. I think this year may be very similar year to last year, where they're gonna continue to offer out deluxe cabs of cabs we've already seen.
But I heard one or two new releases. Did you hear that too? Guys, I'm trying. I'm trying to get something out of him.
100%. I will tell you. It's not a Miss Pac-Man XL. I don't know where that rumors come from. I know it makes sense because last year was Pac-Man, so Arcade1Up's the house that Namco Bandai built, but I have not heard Miss Pac-Man XL either. I wouldn't bet your ass on that. Golden TXL? It's possible.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of zeros. I saw, it scares me when 19K Fox throws a zero out there because the guy just has this insider.
He's a greasy Unico insider. He doesn't
Yeah.
know anything. As long as it's Unico, he'll know you. There you go.
Well, that's kind of reassuring, huh?
Well,
there's still a chance, guys.
Yeah, here's the other thing that Paul says, which could deflate most of what I'm knowing. Travis keeps saying stuff is changing month to month, but protection takes at least 6 to 8 months, so surely they know. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Arcade1Up in months, like going back before Christmas. I have no clue. So maybe things are going to get better again. Last thing I heard was, it's going to be quiet this year. That's all I heard. Last thing I heard from any of my sources. Going to be very quiet. So that's why I think it's the time now,
right?
To capitalize on what's out there.
And look, I mean, 19K Fox, he just picked up, if you saw his short, another Street Fighter 2, and he's turning that into, I mean, it's safe to say now, right? Marvel versus Capcom 2. So there's incentives out there to pick up some of these deluxe or riser cabinets.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you're into modding, I'm not. Like, I would never do that. I'm not going to buy, 4 Street Fighter 2 Deluxes, turn them into different things. But if you want to do it, you can do it. One thing I've seen a lot of people doing was actually getting the MK Deluxe. If you can get that on sale, that can turn into a Killer Instinct pretty easily. Yeah. And that could be a cool Killer Instinct Deluxe.
Or you can get the Pro.
I love Paul on this because he said this the other day when I put all the posts up about the deluxes going on sale. He's like, he's trying to right size inventory. Arcade1Up realizes that XL isn't XL is the wave of the future, and they're trying to get rid of the deluxes. I wish that was true. I wish that there was an XL future coming. I want there to be, but it's not unless things have changed drastically that I don't know of. I remember when there was the miscommunication there a while back about there was a new logo showed up online for MK. I don't know if I did a video on it, and we didn't know what it was. I reached out to Travis and Cyrus, and I said, hey guys, there's going to be all these rumors starting that there's new MK cab coming out because there's this red Mortal Kombat logo showing up on people's things. And it ended up being just for the classic, peasant cab. But I said, hey, the good thing from that is this should give you some interest. Like, a lot of people were really excited about XLs. And what Travis said, don't worry, there are XLs coming. So, I mean, as much as we're hearing that retailers didn't want it, it looks like Arcade1Up wants to do it. So maybe there is. I heard about Canada. I specifically asked about Canada because they had a retailer meeting with Arcade1Up recently, and no XLs are coming to Canada. So,
but they also said no MK Deluxe was coming to Canada, and that's
true. That's a fair point, Phil. So, that's a fair point.
Anything's possible, guys.
No. Now's the time. If there's something on sale and you want it, get it. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I think it helps. Like, the more they sell right now, the better chances we get something new.
Oh, it's all 100% possible.
Right. Yeah. So I'm doing my part, guys. I'm before Kelly has a nervous breakdown on me, I'm buying as much as I can. So
supposedly MK Spectate is done. When's the new MK game? Waiting for the movie, doing an XL. Yeah, I made a joke about this. So say, for example, they come out with a new XL cab this year. How disappointed would you be if it was branded based on the new movie, Mortal Kombat 2? but it had movie art all over the side, a movie marquee. How would you feel about Arcade1Up then?
I'm afraid that that's the direction they're going though, because they're trying to attract people other than us. That's the
Yeah.
thing, is when we go to a store, we're seeing the Infinity game boards, we're seeing the Wheel of Fortune Casino Cade. If they gave us a Cowabunga collection turtles, like, it's familiar with people. That's what they're accustomed to right now.
Yeah. So I don't know if your source told you this, that when that list came out about Cowabunga Collection, it was never going to be Cowabunga Collection. That was the code name internally because the cab was going to be Shredder's Revenge. Was that
And I
told to you?
no, but I don't believe that Shredder's Revenge will ever be on an Arcade One Up cabinet. What do you think about that? Like, if it,
I don't think it will be now. No, I don't think it ever should have been.
I think I think that if they gave us something, it'd be the same two Turtles games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there would be nothing else.
But there is a backstory there. So I'll tell you all the greasy inside deets on this now. So here's what happened. iArcade were going to apparently retail, like, these conventions and showing off their product and stuff like that. And they were actually at the conventions showing Shredder's Revenge, working on the iArcade, saying that, yeah, we're going to get this title and we're going to release it. John D had already got the license for Shredder's Revenge for Arcade1Up and called them and basically told them off and said, you cannot show this anymore. You cannot show this working on iArcade because we have this. And that's what they were going to do. They were going to release a Shredder's Revenge Arcade1Up while he was still there. That was the plan. And I don't know if he was doing it just out of spite to prevent iArcade from getting it. Like, I just never saw any value of that being an Arcade1Up release.
No, it'd be cool to have it on there. Like, if that would have came through, that would have been next level stuff. I mean, having those two games and
I think it was just spite.
well,
just to prevent our arcade from doing it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Stringer Films, $2 super chat. Here's your $2. Patience, guys. Those 8-year-olds can only work so fast. So that's another one I'll ask you on right now. So one of the criticisms that Arcade1Up gets right now is that maybe no one there has the history and, the nostalgia for the arcades that most of us in this community does. Do you think there's a disconnect with the people working there and arcade history compared to the product they're selling?
I don't think there's a disconnect. I think they're worried about throwing something out there and turning it into an NFL Blitz again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at NFL Blitz right now. There's no reason this is still available. This should have been sold out by now. X-Men should have been sold out by now.
Why do you think that never happened?
I think they priced X-Men way too much at $7.49. And I think it's the online thing with NFL Blitz. It's the only thing in the no hits, which doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
But I have more nostalgia for NFL Blitz than like a Madden, because I played NFL Blitz all the time. So when they announced it and they have Brett Favre on the side, yeah, I'm going to get it. Like, it was a no-brainer. But
so the 8-year-old joke was apparently something that went over my head and meant something completely different than the people working at Arcade1Up. So sorry, guys, I didn't get the joke, and that's horrible. Thumper Squid says he paid $3.99 for Blitz, but I love it. I think a lot of people who did pick it up on sale, like I remember I picked it up for $4.99 here in Canada. I knew what it was. I knew it wasn't perfect. I just had a lot of fun playing with friends for the short period of time I had it. I thought Blitz was great for what it was, but in terms of an arcade recreation, they missed.
Well,
so
I agree with that, but it's still NFL Blitz. I mean, it's just minus the. There's something weird about this game. Like, when I played it on the PlayStation, like, you could really rack up the score. Whoever, like, I cannot stop a team on. Like, it's different with this. The computer always catches up. Did you ever experience any of that?
No, I found rubber banding when I played. Maybe I just wasn't very good.
It's like, if you have the ball last, it's the only way you're gonna win a game. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's tough.
Kevin Clausen says the future is cloudy. What isn't is this super chat from Kevin Clausen, $2. Thank you very much, buddy. No late hits, no buy. I'll just play the N64 version. Would you buy Mortal Kombat without fatalities? No. And going back to 12-year-old Mike, no, I wouldn't either because I didn't buy the Super Nintendo version. Gamer Fridge wants a rematch with you.
Oh yeah, we gotta play Blitz again. We had a good tournament on the Super Bowl Sunday.
And also, I want to bring this up. You're not on Twitter, are you, PD7?
No.
Why not?
I'm getting there. I got to work there. Work my way over.
Work your way over to Twitter? Or X, as they call it now.
Yes, so, X.
Jay Pace says, John D recently made a cryptic tweet. How can you run a company based on nostalgia when you weren't old enough to appreciate it firsthand? He's made a couple comments like that. I think that is... whatever's going on there, I think there is some, definitely some hard feelings about the time after he left. And, he's making some interesting points there. Like, how do you run a company that's nostalgia-based, like Arcade1Up is, if you don't have the nostalgia yourself? Like, how do you lead that direction?
Well, I think it's putting titles, like we just talked about, that we wouldn't necessarily want to see, like the artwork, but consumers would. Go to a Dave & Buster's and look at the theming on some of those on amusement. I was just at SeaWorld, and some of the arcades that were in there, that's what they want to get in stores. It's not, it's not Smash TV per se. It's Cruisin' Blast. It's stuff like that. Jurassic Park that you see.
So you want the more modern stuff.
Well, that's what I think they want. I think that's what the retailers want. That's why we saw Wheel of Fortune Casino-cade.
I think you're right. I think retailers do want more modern stuff, but there's an offset of that which makes it hard, because more modern stuff requires more power, better chipsets, more money invested into it, more development costs. Well, so how do they get there?
I just think they look at it that way versus a Qbert. Like, so everyone wants and just to shatter everybody's dreams right now. Like, would Best Buy, Costco go, yeah, let's put a Qbert on display here?
Yeah. So I will go to the Arcade1Up chipset recently. Do you know who She Lion Gaming is, buddy?
Yes.
So She Lion just put up a video there a couple days ago, and I wanted to show this because there's a lot of crap Arcade1Up takes about their chipset and what runs on it and stuff like that. But she actually put a video out for a free and easy soft mod. I'm really hoping this isn't some troll video. I know it's not. But just give me a second here. I'll show you. And I know I'm keeping you up really late. You got to get up in like an hour and a half.
No.
Hour and a half to do your workout. But let me just show you this. So she's got a video out of the soft mod for Street Fighter 2 Deluxe, and she shows basically running like Naomi games, everything on this thing. Like, how is this possible, but Arcade1Up can't get it running? So obviously the chipset can do it, right? Have you seen this yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so this is a soft mod for the Street Fighter 2 Deluxe actual PCB, and you can run Naomi, all kinds of other shit on it. Dreamcast, Naomi, there's Naomi. So it looks like they can do it.
So then the next question is, why haven't they?
Money. Development costs. Like, whenever they, like, let's not kid ourselves. Like, what happened with Blitz was, it wasn't just the retail cost of this. Like, they put a ton of money into research and development, and all the games that we've been seeing the last little while are games they haven't put research and development, or they already spent the money, right? Like, Fast and the Furious was in the works for 2 years. That's why it eventually came out. Time Crisis was in the works for 2 years. That's why it eventually came out. I don't know if they're going to put that kind of money into coming up with something new right now.
Well, the NFL license had to have been just astronomical.
Yeah. You ever watch wrestling? Like, you ever see the
Hey,
wrestling DVDs? Like, it was like the rise and fall of WCW, the rise and fall of ECW. If they ever did a rise and fall of Arcade One Up, it would just be about like NFL Blitz.
yes, and Marvel versus Capcom 2. Yes.
Yeah, that period of time, unfortunately, is why we're not in the cool heyday we once were with Arcade One Up because of the
Did they give us too
colossal.
much at once? Was that the issue? Do you
That's
think they
part of
just?
it. Yeah, that's part of it. The year before, there was so much, right?
I know.
That year where we got T2, Ridge Racers, Simpsons, X-Men. Like, there was like 17 new releases that year. And I
And
just,
most of it is still there.
yeah,
It's still available. And I think that's the problem. Now just to go back to, because you mentioned Fast and Furious, is there a desire to get a racing cab? You got everything else. You don't have a, like, I know you said you're going to put your shooters on your iArcade. Fast and Furious shows up, let's say, good price, $4.99 in Canada. Would you pick it up?
I don't have the nostalgia for it. Honestly, if I was going to pick up a racing cab, an Arcade One Up one, I wasn't going to mod or do anything with. It would have to be Daytona. It would have to be Cruisin' or San Francisco Rush. One of those. Those are the three.
No.
Every time Arcade One Up releases a racing cab, I'm like, how do you not do Daytona, Cruisin', or Rush? Those are the three staple releases.
I got to tell you that the Fast and Furious, I know it's not legit, but it's a fun one.
I heard it
It,
was good.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, just you can't really mess this one up. It's just pedal to the metal and there's
it's
no braking.
it's basically cruising. It's a modern
Totally.
day cruising. Yeah, done by the same people and all that stuff. So yeah, and cruising's a little bit hard to get because there's still a Nintendo
Yeah.
tie-in with it. That's why when Cruisin' Blast came to home consoles, we only saw it on Nintendo Switch. It didn't go anywhere else. So
What's the relationship with Eugene Jarvis with Arcade One Up? What do you think? Just your opinion. Just from where we went with that interview we saw with him and Travis a year ago.
well, Eugene Jarvis works for Raw Thrills. Eugene Jarvis was working with Arcade One Up on Robotron and like that line of games.
Mm-hmm.
I know John D when he was there. Robotron was a hard one. I pushed for it really, really hard all the time. But one of the things they ran into problems with was nobody knew who owned Robotron. I remember talking to Michael at iArcade, and he actually talked to Eugene Jarvis about possibly getting Robotron on iArcade because they didn't know who owned it. Who owned it? Did Eugene Jarvis own it? Did Warner Brothers? No one knew who owned it. And Arcade One Up went to Warner Brothers and said, "Hey, we want to license Robotron." And Warner Brothers said, "We don't even know if we own it, and we're not going to spend the money to find out whether or not we do. We're not going to pay the lawyers to identify it." John actually did work it out. He did identify that Warner Brothers owned it. They worked everything out. They were going to do it. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's still going to happen. I mean, everything changes when you have a big, cut at the top like that. I mean, like that's the other thing we don't talk about a lot here is, they let go their CEO. They let go their SVP of licensing. So that changes the dynamic of everything. Are they doing that because they see a different vision for the company going forward? Or was there problems? Who knows? I don't know. This is not as positive as I wanted to be, Phil. What
Well,
happened?
no.
This is my
I
fault,
think
isn't it?
it's me. I asked too many questions. I'm just trying. I don't know. It's it's fun to just kind of speculate. I think there's still hope with Travis there. Like honestly,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, anyone listening that I know Travis is working hard
Yeah.
to get us new titles. Like there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Travis is a good egg. Travis is trying to do the right thing. Hopefully, I know Travis is mainly there because he wants Tekken. So hopefully he gets his
And I
Tekken
was going to
eventually.
say that. I didn't know. I know he's brought up Tekken a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so I know he wants Tekken. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't know what's going to happen, man. I don't. I hope that whatever Arcade One Up's going through this year, they get through it and then they can get back to doing stuff.
I I think they do, but I mean, it's just I think we see newer type of stuff mixed in with stuff we want, and I think that's going to be their identity going forward. We're going to get something, and then they're going to throw wild cards out there like, what the heck were they thinking with this Casino-cade?
Pizza the Hut says, why haven't you bought the iconic arcade yet? Mostly because I have eyes. So I've gone and seen it. I've got to go back and talk to the people at the store to see if they'll let me film a review in store. I'm not going to buy it.
How much was it?
It's $5.99 Canadian, so the price isn't bad, but like it's a piece of junk. Like it's an absolute piece of junk. The people in the store hated it. Bobby A1U says, Travis, what is Travis doing? I thought he was a YouTuber. He is a YouTuber, but he actually has a different relationship with Arcade1Up. He works there. He's really involved with the beta tester team. Like, I have a disclaimer. I'm involved in the beta tester team, but I will literally tell you, I've never done anything with the beta tester team. Never got a beta code from them. Never worked on anything with them. I'm just in there. Literally, they could kick me out tomorrow. I wouldn't even know because I don't do anything with them. Travis, on the other end, has openly been involved in working on projects such as like the MK Spectate, Killer Instinct Spectate. Like he actually did stuff with that, and he has a job with Arcade1Up as the community liaison. So all the stuff they're doing, that's what Travis does. Travis is a YouTuber, but he actually works with Arcade1Up doing stuff. Jason Little Alien says Arcade1Up isn't dead short term. They can survive just fine. I don't think.
I mean, they're still there, guys. I mean, it's not doom and gloom. We kind of changed the flow of this video. I shouldn't have asked so many questions. The main thing here.
I was just going to talk about getting deals, man. This was supposed to be
deals
fun.
out there. I just picked up some. Mike just picked up some.
Yeah,
and there's more coming.
I'm actually pretty excited. I went from a period of being really sad about like this realization Arcade1Up wasn't going to do what I hoped they were going to do, to a point where I'm like, hey, I just got, Street Fighter Deluxe for like $500 Canadian. I just got Terminator for $500 Canadian. So I'm in this weird renaissance phase now. Just I'm going to go get what I want at cheap prices, build like a really fun space, and I'm just happy they ever existed at all. So that's where I'm to right now.
I mean, who would have thought that we could actually bring... And I know they're not arcades to some people. I get that all the time, but...
They're toy arcades, guys. No one's trying to pretend they're real.
No, they are home arcades. Like, I think that's the best terminology for this.
I will go one step further. They are toy recreations of arcade cabinets, and I think they're dope.
I do too. And Mike transported a Pac-Man XL up 2 flights of stairs.
I did.
Without hitting the ceiling.
Oh, I didn't say I didn't hit the ceiling.
You just said you put a scuff in the wall. Like,
oh yes, several scuffs in the wall because I tried to move a XL arcade down a flight of stairs by myself. And then it got jammed, and then I swore a lot, and my wife had to come save me. So, yeah, moving my Pac-Man XL was not fun today.
It's tough.
No one's retiring from home arcade, guys. You're getting this all the wrong way. I am far from retiring. I just got back in. Let's
start this over. Let's start the stream over.
Yeah, I just got back in. I am excited for getting deals, and I'm also excited about other opportunities. Like, I don't know if you've been following along. New Wave Toys is possibly coming out with a competitor product, and here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that New Wave Toys can deliver stuff that Arcade1Up was never going to make. So, like, you look at a cab like Qbert. We all said, we want Arcade1Up to make a Qbert. They're not going to do it. But why can't New Wave Toys do that? Why can't New Wave Toys fill in that spot?
I have been saying that since September now. That if we were going to get a Qbert, it's New Wave Toys.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's actually a very arcade-accurate centipede. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's and if they did something like that,
yeah.
And let's say MVSX did an MVSX2, Arcade1Up brings us, like, they all bounce off of each other.
Yeah, I don't care who makes it. Just make stuff I want and I'll buy it. I don't care if it's Arcade1Up. I don't care if it's... Hell, man, Iconic Arcade comes out tomorrow with, like, a really good-looking Robotron. I'll be the biggest Iconic Arcade shill there is. I'll be like, man, this company's amazing.
Exactly.
Paul Minderman doesn't have a lot of hope for it. New Wave is going to be a GRS multicade piece of... What are these symbols? I hope not. I don't think that New Wave Toys is really a multicade company. I think John D is going to be coming back into the space. I think he's got an arcade product, and I think that may be more along the lines of a multicade. That would be my guess, or it could be something different. We'll see.
Yeah, that's
Decadent Dave
exciting.
says,
I thought he was going to I thought he bought Arcade. Like, how funny is that?
I made a stream about that just as a joke. No, he didn't buy our arcade. No one really knows what he's doing, but we know he's been teasing that around April we should get an update on what his project is. What's he doing?
Speaking of April, there's the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee. Any chance you can make it down?
I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to. I know you guys got like a group for chatting about like going.
Yeah.
I think it's Danny's going, you're going, Travis is going, OTG. Who else is going?
I know Thumper Squid is in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the bad guy Mike Worley to make the trip over. He's coming from Pennsylvania. But yeah, there's maybe even the Gamer Fridge. I mean, he's just across the pond from me, and maybe G.I. Joel can make the. It'd be cool. Be cool to get a little get together in Milwaukee. Maybe go to Chicago for a day.
Milwaukee. What was Milwaukee? Alice Cooper. What is it? Do you remember?
Oh,
from
yeah,
World?
Wayne's World. Is that Wayne's World 1 or Wayne's World 1?
Wayne's World 1. Yeah. They did the show in Milwaukee.
Yeah. I remember that.
I don't know. Is Think Up out? Just on my Street Fighter Deluxe I bought. They do advertise Think Up, so maybe Think Up is gone too. I don't know. The Good Land. Milwaukee stands for the Good Land.
Oh, the Good Land. See, Thor knows this stuff. He's a Midwest guy.
It's Algonquin for the Good Land. 19K Fox knows. Do you know that 19K Fox also owns a gun rack? He owns many guns that necessitate a full gun rack.
I've seen some videos.
Yeah. I was on a call with 19K Fox there the other night, and he openly just started cleaning a gun in front of me. And I was like, what the hell? What is going on here? Yeah, the CEO of Think Up was friends with Scott Backrack, so supposedly that's done. We don't. No one knows what's going on there, man. We don't know what's happening. Arcade1Up might come out and might be all casino-cades going forward. From what I hear, it's all casino-cades.
Do you think it would have been better if they would have made that in like a partycade?
100%. That is a partycade.
$149.99.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think they could have got it out the door for $149.
Maybe $199.90. If Pac-Man partycade at Costco's $200, maybe $200.
I think a re-release of the partycade of the casino-cade as a partycade wouldn't be a terrible idea. That's my guess.
Kind of have more of that slot feel on it,
What?
Kind of more of that slot feel.
Slap feel?
A slot machine.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
With the handle on there. You've had those. You just put them on the bar top. That's would have had a better feel if they would have went that way.
Did you see the video they did of the guy getting ready and like getting dolled up, getting his hair done up, putting like the cologne on to go in his living room and play the casino-cade? Who thought of that?
Oh man.
So anyways, Phil, let's clue this up with more positive stuff. So we got some deals. I'm excited. I'm going to be picking up MK2 Deluxe.
And what does that sale hit in Canada?
Leap year day. So February 29th. I know a lot of people here in Canada are pretty excited about it. Most people are all jumping on the MK Deluxe train. I know some people want Class of 81. Some people are going to jump on Time Crisis. I'm also waiting to see if they do any of their older cabs here, because they still do have some older cabs in stock, like Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair is one I really regret selling. I would like to get Dragon's Lair again at the right price.
That's another one. If it was low enough, like $4.99 is not good enough for me.
Yeah.
$3.99, maybe.
$4.99 Canadian, and I would 100% buy Dragon's Lair again. And the other one that's for Eagle Eye people, here at my local brick, check your bricks as well, because if you want a Killer Instinct cab, it's $799.95 on the website, but in store it says $499.95. So if I didn't have the XL, I probably would have bought a Killer Instinct last week too.
didn't you have the 3/4 scale?
I sold the 3/4 scale Killer Instinct to buy the Pro. Yeah, I thought the 3/4 scale was great too. I really liked it. I mean, and I don't think we're getting a deluxe. So anybody waiting to get a deluxe?
Well, I know that whole At Games thing kind of shot that one down, didn't it? No?
And you never know. Even though At Games have the license to do Killer Instinct, that doesn't mean they don't have an exclusive license.
Oh.
So it's possible. I just don't think it's sold well enough.
No, I don't either. I mean, that's another one that probably should be sold out by now. Is it wrong that I want to get the KI Pro for Battletoads?
Yes. It's $1,000, Phil. It's never gone on sale.
It's a real looking arcade.
What I would advise you to do is see if you can have an opportunity to find one that's used.
Okay,
that's
so
what I would advise you to do.
Were you going to read Dave's comment?
Yeah.
Cutting you off?
Yeah. So did they ever fix the Dragon's Lair sync issue? They're trying to. That was what I heard. That was in the works. They were going to try to fix all the issues. Anything that anybody was upset with, they were working on it. So I have no idea. I don't think it's fixed yet, though. Paul Minderman says, get the KI Pro for the fact it's a decent-looking XL-size cab.
Guys, I'd sell mine. I'm giving out way too much here. I'd sell mine. Plus, I have so many PCBs. 19K Fox is always saying, sell your. If you buy something, you want to mod it, you can sell that PCB. I have if you put it towards everything, maybe you're only paying $500 for it. Is it worth $500 for a brand new one? If you could sell a couple other things like that's, it's not like I'm coming up with $1,000 here. We're looking at 500.
So if KI Pro was $599, $699, what they sell the other XLs for, I would have no problem recommending it. I think it's probably one of the best cabs they've ever made. I absolutely love it, but what I don't love is that price point of $1,000. That's my biggest problem with it. My only problem with it, really.
Yeah, mine too. I mean, it's $1,000. I get it, but I did pay $749 for Time Crisis. Let's not forget that.
Will PD7 buy Killer Instinct Pro? That is the question we're asking right now. It's really nice. And when you start it up, it makes a really cool sound for that Pro Series logo. And it's the only one they're ever going to make.
You know, I like it when you turn Shack Jam on and you get that Shack. Like that's pretty cool. I don't know if Skids is still in the chat. I know he bought Shack Jam. We were together in Chicago. It's a cool startup.
It is. It is a really cool startup. If only it didn't have Shack on the sides, I would love that cab.
It's just fitting that you have that cab. Like I remember when B and Bobby
So sad. So sad.
Were at Shack's Funhouse. We all thought Blitz.
But that was my fault too, because I knew they were doing Blitz. We all knew they were doing Blitz. I mean, literally, they went on 1UP Weekly during the Super Bowl with Ralph and Console Kits, and they pretty much told us we are doing Blitz. So we knew Blitz was happening at that point. So Shaq does an event, Super Bowl weekend, and they say they're going to announce a cab. Why wouldn't you think that it was Blitz? Why wouldn't you announce Blitz during the Super Bowl?
I know.
But it wasn't. It was NBA Jam. And then I looked like an idiot. And then it was NBA Jam.
But the best part is you have Shack Jam.
Well,
like I know, but back then, if you could go back in time a year and a half ago, would you have said, "Hey, I'm going to get Shack Jam"?
Well, that was circumstantial. I mean, we had this opportunity where they reached out to us and said, "Hey, we've got some cabs that are coming out of the warehouse that we can get you at a cheaper price. Do you want them?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Right?
I know, but if you could go back, not knowing that, B shows it off. Are you interested?
I would never have bought it unless I could get it on sale, ever. I never would have took a stab at it. It was one of those things that came up. It was happenstance. I bought it. And I'm glad I did, because I was like, oh my God, these XL cabs are incredible. Like the minute, like screen, terrible, terrible on those first two. But there's no denying, like, honestly, when you stand up next to one of those XL cabs compared to a 3/4 scale Arcade1Up, everything about it, just a little bit extra size makes such a big difference. So,
That's why I want that's what it is, guys. Like
yeah,
exactly what Mike just said. I have Golden Tee 3D. I have Pac-Man. That's how it is walking up to him.
yeah. So, I don't know.
Exactly.
I would not be judgmental of you if you bought a KI Pro.
Well,
So,
it's now or never. And that was the whole premise of this video, was to go over everything, and KI Pro is still available. Like it shouldn't be. That should
yeah.
have been sold out. So it's stuff like that. It's stuff like Big Blue, you know? Even that
Big Blue's fine as long as you don't put it next to anything
oh,
else. The control panel's too low.
you need a stool to play that. You have
Well, I ran into a different problem with it. Like I'm a palm rester on the arcade, and maybe that's not what you should be. So I had it right next to other arcades, and where the control panel's so low compared to the other arcades, there wasn't enough movement to really play from the one player control panel.
oh
So I had to
yes.
move it in a very specific spot, right, to make it work. So I was happy to see the end of Big Blue.
You know what it is? It's Knights of the Round on there,
Yeah.
and it's just the look. If they would have gave us a deluxe Big Blue, I think it'd be easier to sell that one.
They tried to. Alien versus
I
Predator. The
I
retailers didn't
know.
want it.
I know. There's still some of us that think that's gonna happen.
I hope so.
It'd be cool.
I don't know if it is. I hope so. I hope lots of things happen. But Phil, again, positive.
We're
There's
being
all kinds of stuff
we're
for you to
being
buy right now.
there is. But I was just talking Big Blue, and there's all types of stuff for us to buy right now, guys. Did you know Golden Axe is $4.49 at Target, and it says it ends Tuesday?
And they'll never make another Golden Axe. Like, for
No.
anybody waiting for a deluxe or an XL version,
And
it's
you
not coming.
had Golden Axe
Yeah, love Golden
firsthand.
Axe. Yeah, love Golden Axe. Loved it, loved it, loved it. A really good, solid Sega game lineup. Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, Altered Beast, Shinobi, all killer, no filler. Probably the worst game there was the wrestling game Wrestle War, and Wrestle War's still fun too. Like, I can't recommend Golden Axe high enough. It's one of those special cabs. Like it's like a lot of people don't remember this, but Final Fight, the first Final Fight cab was badass. One of the best, early Arcade1Ups. I would put Golden Axe and Final Fight right there for game lineup, fun, all that stuff. If you got an opportunity to get Golden Axe, you got room for it in your arcade, I would do it. There you go.
Because when that sells, it's gone.
Paul says he just added 25 KI Pros to his card for $25,000.
I can't put more than 10. Like, is it really let you go 25?
I don't know.
Jeez.
So before we go, I do want to talk about At Games and the At Games ALP 4KP. So other than obviously you could buy other things, what really stopped you from making a jump on the ALP train at this point?
They showed us too many skins, and I started contradicting myself.
Yeah.
I saw Adam's Family in Chicago, and I was sold.
Yeah.
I actually went on your stream that night. There was a bunch of us, Bill's Retro Gaming Show, Cornercade, Biggie D. We were all on the Garage Gamer, and I was sold. I was going to get that, and then they show us Star Trek, and then they show us Peanuts, Attack from Mars. And at that point, I go, I don't even know which one I want anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't decide. And then it's just like, do I decide on pre-ordering by the 31st of December that I get one by the end of March or the beginning of March? And am I getting it for that reason? Am I getting it to save $200? So I walked away. I didn't know what to do.
Too much selection. I don't know what to say here.
It was.
Yeah.
I remember Stock Jock going, do not get Star Trek, Phil. I know you want to get it. Do not get Star Trek. So
I would have. I see here in Canada we didn't really have much of a choice. It was just like you're only getting Adam's Family, so I was like, that good decision made. But that Attack from Mars looks so good.
I bought my mom and my stepdad the Arcade1Up Attack from Mars last Christmas.
Yeah.
$3.99 at Best Buy. Like, it was a total steal.
Oh, and that's a great deal. Yeah.
And I wanted to get it. Then I was thinking Attack from Mars because they had that one. It's just kind of like, but I don't know if I really wanted Attack from Mars. And yeah, I couldn't decide.
And plus, what more is coming out in the future? Maybe Twilight Zone,
Back to the
maybe
Future.
Back to the Future. It's an endless world of possibilities. Godzilla versus Kong, Marvel, Star Wars, the Marvel one they announced earlier today.
That's right. That's right. I screwed up and got the Arcade1Up one. No, we'll see what happens. Carlo absolutely loves his. He just put it together. He was telling me a couple of things about it, and I know people are pretty, as long as and those ones that got damaged. I mean, that's going to happen, guys. I mean, I work in the shipping industry, and I mean, stuff happens.
It sucks though, because like I had Rob Kessel on my stream, and I watched his unboxing, and like it looks like it's really, really packaged well. So I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if it's just like FedEx was super rough, too many pallets packed on top of each other. I have no idea.
So I pre-ordered the MVSX Mini.
Yeah.
And in the box is, not 12 by 12. FedEx drops it off. And instead of putting it by my front door, they put it right in front of the garage where I pull my car. And it's just like, that's FedEx for you. It's just UPS. At least they take the Arcade1Up and put it by your door. There's a difference. And FedEx might have been rough with it.
Triumph says, pinball doesn't really interest me. Different strokes for different folks. I will tell you, I never got interested in pinball at all in my entire life until Arcade1Up announced they were doing pinball. And I was like, I'm all in. Attack from Mars.
You had all three.
Yeah.
I remember.
And after that, I just fell in love with pinball, then started playing real pinball. And I was like, how cool would it be to own a real table? And then I had one, and it was awesome because it was new and everything worked. Then I bought an old table, and it was less awesome because it was old and there was constant maintenance.
What happened with the Tron arcade you had?
It didn't work as well as the guy had hoped. So we moved it to my house, and he thought everything was working. And like the minute it got there, I can't remember the first thing that went out. One of the graphic boards stopped working, so I wasn't getting all of the graphics. So I looked online and I found a fix for it. So I said, yeah, I don't know how to do this. But the fix is that this cable from one board to the next, because it has a 3-board stack, is off. You need to fix it. So the guy came down to my house that sold it to me. And before he did the fix I found, he did this thing. He said, the power supply might be a little low. So it juiced up the power supply. Then he tried my fix, and it fixed the graphic issue. And I said, perfect. I'm all back up and running. So he left, and I went to turn it on, and the volume just completely gone. Whatever he did where he turned up the juice, it blew the volume. So now it had no sound. So it went from one of the picture boards wasn't working to then it had no sound. So I wrote him back, and he was like, listen, man, I'm sorry about this. Usually when I sell like a pinball machine or an arcade product, I really like to have it tuned in. I didn't have it tuned in when I sold this to you. There's been a lot of problems with it. I really hope that you'd be willing to, let's return it. My reputation is more important to me than this. So he basically took it back. And I said, hey, you got that Dungeons & Dragons pinball there. If you're going to take this back, why don't I buy Dungeons & Dragons from you? So that's what we did.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I was heartbroken. And heartbroken because I also sold my Arcade1Up Tron. So now I was Tronless PD7, Tronless.
Did you put Glenn's stick in there, or was that no?
No, I had one of Glenn's stick, and I put it in my ALU, and it's good, but I didn't like the feel of Glenn's stick. Glenn's stick is a little bit smaller, and it doesn't have the same arcade feel as the Arcade1Up one. I think the Arcade1Up one is definitely more prone to breakage, but I actually found it more comfortable to play.
That was my fear with Tron. P-Dub's got a great deal. I think he got his for $449. I think it was Dell was selling them, and it's just like that stick. I just didn't trust it.
I don't think that's when P-Dubs bought one. I think that was TechBuzz. TechBuzz got a really good deal through Dell on it. P-Dubs bought his like pretty much right away.
Maybe it was Tech Buzz. But yeah, I mean, they had a great deal at Dell, $399 or $449, like, and now they're sold out at $699.
Deals, Phil. That's what it's about. Finding the
Right,
right
and
deals
you
at the
don't
right
want that to
time.
happen, and that's why there's deals out there.
Yeah. So, I could keep you here all night. I know you got to get up early. At what time do you got to get up to go working out? 3:30,
Maybe I'll sleep in a little bit and go 3:45.
quarter to four tomorrow. Oh, P Dubs did get his from Dell for 450. I was wrong. I thought that
No,
was
thanks,
Tech
Goofy
Buzz.
Foot.
Goofy Foot's always keeping me honest.
It's
So,
tough to
anyways,
remember all this stuff. Everyone.
it's been a lot. A lot of people have done different things with their arcade. Anyways, I'm really excited. I got my little space I'm building back now. I picked up a couple deals, added back some classics that I really. This is my fifth Street Fighter, fourth or fifth Street Fighter. It's gonna be my fourth Mortal Kombat.
Wow. Do you still have your pub table?
No,
No.
no.
What do you think of that?
I thought the pub table was awesome, and if you have lots of open space, it's honestly it's a statement piece in your arcade. Pong is awesome. Warlords. I got to play 4-player Warlords my first night in Cleveland because I went to my buddy Ed's house, and I stayed over at Ed's house before I met up with everybody else. And me, my friend Chris, Ed, and his daughter played 4-player Warlords, and it was probably one of the best times I ever played it. I love the Pong pub table. It's just in my arcade, I did not have room for it. I was like, I can use this to replace my actual pub table. Except the Pong pub table was about 4 times the size of the actual pub table I had in there.
I remember on the Red Cross Drive, you had. I'm looking at the pawn head-to-head right now. Like, I remember you had the deals for the head-to-heads, and I think that might be one of the best head-to-heads. And I didn't look at it like that 2 years ago, but now, when it was like $299, who's got the room for it? But I think that was a good one. If you're going to look at any of the head-to-heads, I think there's value in some of those. But I wanted to know what you thought of that pub because I know you had it.
I love the Pong pub table. If my wife never came downstairs and realized that I had an overflow space, and she didn't threaten divorce, I'd probably still have my pub table.
There was a time when you had both NBA Jam and Shaq Jam right next to each other
Oh yeah,
in that room. I remember.
yeah, because I had the NBA Jam in that overflow space. Oh yeah, I had Frogger in there. I had my MVSX. Man, good times.
Do you regret getting rid of the MVSX?
No,
No.
no.
Really?
Yeah,
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're on a stool, it's impossible to play it because there's nowhere for your knees to go.
exactly. That's why.
You have to stand. But
Yeah.
the picture on there, the controls,
I loved my MVSX until I bought the riser. Once I bought the riser,
really?
I bought that extra riser. I was like, I'm all in. I want to
didn't like
make
how
this
much
thing as
higher it
comfortable
was.
as possible. It was too high in both settings. It was too high in both settings. And again, you couldn't you couldn't sit on a stool in front of it comfortably. I was like, I hate this. I think it's really cool. I love the fact that it was. I hope now that whatever went on with Arcade1Up, like that got screwed up. Whatever they were going to do with Neo Geo, I hope Unico does another one. But I hope it's less home arcade and more closer to arcade accurate, so it's more comfortable. Because I think they had a really good product. It's just, man, that riser and playing it really pissed me off. I don't know why. It made me mad that I spent the extra money on the riser. I was like, this has ruined my experience with it.
I like the riser. I got to be honest with you. I know it's a lot higher, but I have it on the low, I think it's the 5-inch.
Yeah, I had it on the lowest one. Yeah.
Because it's just if it's not, we're going back to the Midway legacy. Like it's the 57-inch high. It's just a little low. And I'm not tall, but you don't want to be like hunched over playing.
So I picked up my first deluxe cab, Street Fighter Deluxe. Do you have Street Fighter Deluxe?
Yes.
What do you think of it?
I think it's the most comfortable Arcade1Up control panel.
I think I'm very surprised by how much I like it. Like the difference in quality between this one and the very first Street Fighter I bought is like it's incredible. Like the actual marquee on it is double printed, both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Light distribution's amazing. The actual build, everything like that, fantastic. My only complaint about it again is it's not an XL, but this is probably one of the best arcade one-ups I've ever gotten in my entire life. I'm in love with it. Just wish it was XL.
I know, but there is some of these deluxe they're so good that this is as good as it gets right now, and that's why you go for these deals, Mike, and you
Exactly.
pick them up. I think we're gonna see some of those in the U.S. back at $3.99 again. Or was did it get down to $2.99?
It launched at $3.99, and I think over Christmas it got down to $2.99.
I bought mine at $3.99.
Yeah, which is not bad. I think if you're looking for deals on the deluxe cabs coming up that you're going to see, so I think Big Buck Deluxe at some point will go on sale. I'm still confused as to why they released that without a light up marquee. I think that's they did everything else to make it better. They raised the screen up so the screen is taller. It's a taller arcade, but just the no light up marquee. And I think it was because of the unconventional marquee. It's the reason they didn't do it. Time Crisis, there's a lot of those through Shop Hippo. I think you might still get deals, but I think the lowest that'll go is $4.99. That's the lowest you'll see Time Crisis.
Absolutely. $4.99.
$4.99 is the lowest you'll see that. Casino Cade, I can see dropping down to $3.99, $2.99 at some point because it's a piece of shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? Casino Cade is not a product I would want to buy. And I think the best price you're looking at for any of the deluxe cabs is $2.99 to $3.99 for the deluxe cabs, right? Like Pac-Man, Class of 81, MK Deluxe. I think cheapest MK Deluxe has been on sale so far is $3.49. But that might have been the Woot thing where you were actually getting the Legacy cab.
Yeah. But is the Legacy, like the fact that the Legacy is still there? You had that cab. I had that one.
MK Legacy, yeah.
Oh, what's Capcom? The
Capcom Legacy. Yeah, I love that Capcom Legacy. Beautiful, great game lineup. I know.
It's just
line of sight issue. Yeah.
Yes. Other than that, like the ridge on the side, that didn't really bother me.
No.
It was the fact that you had to be on a stool. Yeah.
Jason saying Outrun is no joke, especially with that BAS 19-inch upgrade. You've played? Do you have any of the driving cabs? You ever bought a driving cab from Arcade
So I bought Ridge Racer full price. Have a terrible story on that one. I ended up putting the buy stuff mod in it, and I sold it for $650. That's why I bought Time Crisis. So technically, Time Crisis costed me $100. I have Fast and Furious, and I put the racing mod in my Star Wars. So the flight yoke is perfect for Daytona. Like it is awesome. So I didn't really. I know you had Ridge Racer too. I didn't care for it.
I liked Ridge Racer, but my problem with the Arcade1Up racing cabs always will be, these should be, in my opinion, sit-down cabs.
But who has the room for that?
I don't know. 19K Fox, apparently. He's got like 3 or 4 real sit-down cabs now.
Did you see the new, did you get the email from Buy Stuff with the Fast and Furious? Like they had the chair for it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It looked pretty cool.
They need to be a little bit taller. If they're actually going to be stand-up racers, they need to be a little bit taller. I always found that it was a weird height. It was just too short to be stand-up, too tall to be sit-down.
I agree. Fast and Furious is actually higher. The screen is actually higher than your Street Fighter 2.
Really?
Yes.
See,
you know how high T2 is? It's almost as high as T2. Think about how high that monitor is. Perfect, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars is the same height as your Ridge Racer. That's why I bought the riser booster, and it raised it up because I don't want to look down like this. Like we're old guys, man. We can't.
I would have so much fun. I actually broke one of my Arcade1Up stools from playing Outrun because what I would do is I would sit on the stool and play it that way. And then I would like put one leg over to reach down to the pedals and brake, and that's how I was playing. And I actually cracked my stool from the weird like off kilter way I was playing on it. So yeah, I really like the concept what Arcade1Up would try to do with the racers. It's just to me it never ever got there. They either need to figure out how to make it an adult size sit down or make it taller and make it comfortable for real humans to play at it. So
Yeah. It's the same with Time Crisis. Is the monitor was low, and you put that riser booster on it. Unfortunately, it's so high already that marquee. I thought I was going to take out my ceiling fan above me. Like these things, I mean, they keep the higher they go. They just got to make that placement with the monitor.
yeah. Hold on 1 second. I got to make sure P Dubs is not trying to kick me off. I don't know if you saw last week. You were still in California then, I think. But P Dubs wrote me and he was like, "You have to end your show so I can start mine because we're using the same streaming software."
That's right.
Anyways, Phil, I could keep you here all night. I don't know what to say on this. I like where I'm to right now, what I'm doing with Arcade1Up. I was really positive place. I know people want to hear about the future. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. No one
I
knows.
apologize. I shouldn't have pushed so much, but
No, you don't need to
there are
apologize.
deals, guys. Like if there wasn't, I wouldn't be picking these up because we all want new stuff.
Yeah, we all want new stuff, but there's nothing coming right now. We don't know what's coming. So what I've been doing is I'm just having fun with this right now.
Right.
Picking up stuff that's cheap that I can add to my collection that makes me happy, and I'm building a little arcade again, and I'm pretty happy with that.
No, I agree. I'm doing the same thing. It's what you want. Like if you want Golden Axe, go get it because I don't think it's going to get any lower than $449. And once it does sell out,
We'll probably never see it again.
Never.
No, ever.
And the same with Simpsons. Like if Simpsons, I think $4.99 is a little high, but if it came down a little bit, I would pick it up if you don't have it.
You guys got that Ollie's place too. Do you have an Ollie's near you? Is that something you can get access to?
It's about 2 hours from me, and Skids and I are always in contact. Unfortunately, that one never gets anything.
Yeah.
But we have this place called Synergy. And
yes, I've seen your videos of you going to Synergy.
Good. Quarter Deck went there today, and he actually got MK2 Deluxe for $250. He negotiated with him. That's pretty good. In the box.
How do you negotiate with him? Like, what kind of store?
Dude, you know what? Every time we go, here's this thing about Synergy. And I know Cornercade went there and he had a bad experience because they really jacked the price. The initial price, you got to pick them up. If you go back there a second time, it's higher. The Marvel pinball was $300. The next time I went there, I think it was $400, and then Danny went there, it was $520. So you got to get it right away.
How does the price go up?
They watch the sales apparently with these other sites. So Best Buys, they take like a 20% off or something. So
that's wild.
It is. But there's so many there, Mike. And every couple of weeks I'll stop there to see if they get anything new. I was kind of hoping to find Turtles, but now that I have Turtles, see an X-Men there for like $280. Like it's just crazy.
So are you going to get X-Men?
Well, I already have it. But
you already have it. You wanted me to get it.
I want you to get X-Men.
I would have to buy it secondhand. I don't think they're available here.
How's the market by you? Like when you sell a cabinet, do you get pretty?
It depends on what it is. It really does lean into, like when I was selling all mine, like when I had to get rid of my arcade and stuff like that, I had a really easy time selling Street Fighters. I had a really easy time selling Mortal Kombats and like the titles that were, pretty well known. But when you get down to like Golden Axe, I had a really hard time selling Golden Axe. I didn't even want to sell it, and I had a hard time selling it. Really? So, yeah, games like Outrun, Ridge Racer, I had a really hard time selling. Like the titles that you constantly see that are constantly readily available, sold. But the titles that were a little bit more niche that I thought would be interesting didn't sell. So it was kind of weird. It plays into Arcade1Up with their deluxe and legacy lines. Like maybe they do kind of know what they're doing. But right now, like honestly, marketplace is bare. There's no Arcade1Ups for sale at all.
And that's why I think that the price might start going up. Like this is the turning point. And that's why if you see something low enough, pick it up. and just sit on it, because I think you're going to get something for it.
Hey, we had that happen before in the Arcade1Up space. There was a couple from the original wave, like Rampage. I remember I got my Rampage for 200 bucks Canadian, and I posted it not even knowing. And I was like, hey, I just picked up Rampage. And everybody was like freaking out. They were like, that is like the hardest one to get right now. And Rampage was actually selling for like a big amount. I don't know. It's one of those weird things. I see a lot of people online right now saying I'm done with One Up. Like my buddy Shotgun Sean, all these other guys, they're like done with Arcade1Up. They're selling their cabs. They're talking about selling them. So maybe like in some places it'll be super easy to get this stuff. It is not right now. There's literally nothing up. There's somebody selling an original Mortal Kombat Arcade1Up for like 600 bucks, and I'm like, good luck with that.
I know. I mean, just because you see it listed for that doesn't mean they're really going to get it. But when I was looking for turtles, like there was two, and they were in Ohio. Like that was it. There's some guy in Chicago never messaging anybody back. I know Kevin Clausen was working on them, and
Yeah.
It could be scarce out there.
Kevin Clausen says 19K Fox gave up on Arcade1Up AVP. It's time to panic. Everybody's handling this in different ways. Like we talked about it a while ago. We did this video. It was all on, different interests and stuff like that. Arcade1Up slowed down. They weren't coming out with as much stuff, and people did different stuff. Like 19K Fox, he very early on said, hey, they're probably never going to make a, what's that game? The shooter game that he got. I can't remember it now. I should. Oh. The very first real arcade that he made out of that group, and it was the shooter one.
Oh, the helicopters?
No, not the helicopters. It was Raiden. I think he got a Raiden 2.
Yes.
Raiden 2. So he got Raiden 2, and then he started bringing in the real stuff. So there's that, and then Justin went all pinball. All these other people did stuff. You know, and that's what people did. People are doing a bunch of different stuff.
You got to check in with Justin. Make sure he's not in the woods.
Yeah, when he sent me that, I know what it's from. Like, did you ever watch The Office?
Yes.
So the episode where Michael Scott goes out and does Survivor Man. That's what he was making fun of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why he sent it to me.
Was he really putting the water up to his mouth?
No. God, no.
It sounded so real.
But, this is a time where we're all doing different things. Some people like Fox, I mean, he's just going out and finding his real stuff, and anything else. He's always been a mod guy, so he's doing his mod projects and stuff.
That's how that was originally started watching 19K Fox. That's the videos he was doing. He made that platform, and then he made the shell for his countercades. Like, yeah.
I thought he was a countercade channel at first. I'm very confused by all this. I'm a bit of a hard one because I don't want to do mods. So like if I'm going to spend $500 on an arcade, I really don't want to spend any more money to put a
I want plug and play. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. I don't want to do much either.
Yeah. 100% same as me. I just want to buy something that looks like it looks, not have to dig around with it. But I'm hopeful, and we should already know New Wave Toys, whatever they're doing, I'm hoping that's the missing link between what we in the community want for really wacky and weird stuff, for those titles that aren't going to be retailer friendly that Arcade1Up can do. That's what I'm hoping for. So, like, I'm hoping that I've got free space and they do something cool, it's successful, and it comes out. That's my hope.
When you bought I know you got to go. When you bought the iArcade,
yeah,
that's when I said I'm getting Turtles in Time. Like if Michael B's like, who buys an iArcade in 2024? I'm like, you know what? I'm getting Turtles in Time, and I'm getting Golden Axe. To hell with this.
Yeah.
This is the time. This is when you do it.
That's what I said. I said, screw it. I'm just gonna go get a bunch of stuff. That whatever happens. It was a good time to jump on the iArcade because my buddy Mike was finally ready to move off his. I knew he was kind of tired of it.
Well, he only had 6 of them, right?
6. He has all of them. Every single iArcade ever that was ever made. So yeah, he has all of them. Had all of them anyways. But another thing B did that really motivated me and got my ass in gear was B did that stream he did there about a week ago, and he talked about his arcade is finally at the place he wants it right now, his home arcade. And I was like, yeah, that's what pushed me over the edge with T2, because I was looking at his arcade and I was looking at his T2 and stuff like that, and I was like, I wish I still had T2. I wish I still had a little space where I could go down, play games that were super nostalgic for me, for my heyday, that really special time, 89 to probably 93 in the arcades for me. I want that space again. So that's what pushed me, and I was like, I'm making it happen this week. So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's why we're in this hobby,
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what we're all looking for, that place.
Yeah,
Even if
I'm
it's
gonna
10 minutes, 15 minutes a week, like you have it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
my wife, she made fun of me because she was like, I told her, I said, yeah, I'm buying this Street Fighter 2 Deluxe. She was like, can you buy a machine that gives you more time so you can actually enjoy all these things? But like, she doesn't get it, and a lot of people won't get it unless you're doing this thing. There was something special about just having this little arcade space where it's just these toy arcades and shit in there, right? And Nicholas is getting a Stern Jurassic Park Premium tomorrow. Wow. My Arcade1Up collection is probably done. I don't blame you, man. Like, if you can do it, do it. That's awesome. But the cool thing is, like, I suspend disbelief. I have all these toy arcades there. I sit down. I've got these movie posters on the wall. I've got these cool lights and shit going on. I've got 80s hair metal pumping, and like, I'm just cool. Sometimes I can just go down there. I'm not even playing, but I just have everything on, the lights, the atmosphere, listening to some music, and I'll just sit there and be like, yeah, it's just something about it relaxes me, makes me happy. So I'm really excited to get it back, and I'm excited that I'm doing it on a discount by picking up deal cabs.
That's the exciting part of it.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to play a round of Street Fighter 2 beat 'em ups.
Oh, yeah?
Hit me up, man. We'll play like King of Dragons and Final Fight. That'd be fun.
You don't want to play Street Fighter 2? I get a mad Honda 100-hand slap.
Yeah, I've heard. I like the beat 'em ups. I mean, that's the best beat 'em up collection on there.
Yeah, Final Fight, King of Dragons. I don't even actually know the other games. I'm not familiar. This was more niche Capcom games, like Pro Gear, all that stuff. I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm not big on that, but definitely King of Dragons and Final Fight, even Captain Commando.
Yeah. Was P-Dubs doing a show tonight? I have no idea, man. I'm sorry, Decadent Dave, if he was. No idea. And I know I say goodnight 13 times. I don't get to talk to Phil every night, guys. Leave me alone.
It's good to hang. It's been a long time since, we met in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then you brought me on this show during the pinball. The Chicago pinball, and I think it's been since then. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. I called you while you were trying to film the walk and talk to try to coerce you to come on last Monday night.
I think I had Hal Jordan in my hand. I was about to take that picture. Like, here's the new giveaway. So,
all right. Well, Phil, thank you so much. Sorry I kept you so long. No, I'm a bit of a talker. Hopefully, I didn't depress people too much. Now's the time to enjoy what we have. Get good deals. Get what you want to get. Don't worry about what's coming, because who knows? Maybe it won't be coming at all.
X-Men's still available, guys. Like, if you don't have X-Men,
not here.
Not in Canada. But Mike's going to look for it secondhand.
I don't have room for X-Men. I've got room for
we don't have room for any of this stuff.
Machine.
But we make room. Is there a love seat you can just say, you know what?
No, there's no, it's the meagercade. That's what I'm working with now. I'm working with half the space I had. I've got room for MK Deluxe and one more real pinball, and I think that's it. We'll see. Well, of course, if there's new XLs, everything's off. We'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you so much, Phil. Guys, sorry for going so late. You guys are all fantastic. Thank you very much for being here. Hopefully, it was more positive than I think this went, because I'm starting to feel that we talked about some negative stuff too much. Damn there's you, Phil, and your negativity.
There's deals going on, guys. Now's the time to buy.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you. that was
We're
fun,
still
man.
live. We're still live. Let's go another 2 hours.
All right, let's